skills and units. The changes here are massive. We've redesigned weapons with new models, combat feedback, and skill sets. We're also bringing in the one-handed sword, twin sword, halberd, and the crossbow to give you a unique combat experience tailored to this world. For your armies, dozens of legendary units are joining the roster, like the Tiger and Leopard cavalry. We've scaled up unit sizes to make fights feel more intimidating. Recruitment is now tied to geography. You have to go to the Northwest region to recruit the Northwest Heavy Cavalry. Combined with authentic voice lines, your units feel like living armies. Next up is faction war. The real charm of the Three Kingdoms is the politics, the dynamic shifts between allies and enemies. To capture that, we completely overhauled how factions work. NPC faction relationships are no longer static. They evolve based on the state of the war. Every alliance you make or city you attack can shift the balance of power on the server. Resources and the economy are now the backbone of the game. Every war you wage, unit you recruit, or siege engine you build relies on resources flowing across the world. This means players who prefer logistics and crafting are now absolutely essential to winning a war. We've added a stronghold construction system. Every city on the map can be upgraded and fortified by players. Cities won't just easily reset back to level 1. They are long-term strongholds that your faction needs to manage and defend. You'll also see a complete Han Dynasty military rank and official title system. From basic ranks to high officials, every battle you fight and contribution you make translates into real status and identity. Another huge addition to the world is the massive war zone, offering maps larger than 8 square kilometers. With expanded borders and complex routes, tactics completely change. There is a lot more room for frontline combat, backline support, and troop deployment. Terrain, logistics, morale, and tactics will decide the battle. By the time we built everything, this world had the sheer volume of a brand new game. And that is why it requires a standalone client to run properly. This DLC marks a massive new chapter for Conqueror's Blade's 7th anniversary. Alongside our upcoming anniversary events, we're also upgrading the CBL to match the feel of Three Kingdoms. One last thing, we've hidden a lot of Three Kingdoms Easter eggs out there in the world, crafted with a lot of love for the history. You'll find plenty to explore. Thanks for watching, I'm Miles. Let's look forward to the next 7 years of Conqueror's Blade.
是倾颓，董卓乱京，暴政之下，天下震动，群雄并起，始争洛阳。虎豹所属，皆天下修睿。天下修睿，舍我其谁？虎豹雄姿，宰割天下。法体所向。功勋，破敌如虎！快上！再快点！对呀！虎豹雄姿，宰割天下！法体所向，皆为功勋。
Hi everyone, I'm Miles, producer of Conqueror's Blade: Three Kingdoms. Since our first teaser, many of you have been asking the same question: why does the new Three Kingdoms world need its own standalone client? In this video, I will walk you through exactly why.
Hello everybody, it's your guy, the Timu Hurricane. And I'm joined today by the good old Furious D. We're having the first match day, and we're casting a different game. I have to open different games. It's Story Enjoyers versus Kermit Corps, and I'm hopefully having a great first day. Sometimes the first day is a little bit humpy bumpy, so it's already delayed by a week. So we're playing a week later, but I hope Furious D is gonna have my back today and carry me through this commentary and lower down my bad jokes at least a little bit.
Yes, I will hopefully. Yes, I am the Furious D. I will be one of the main casters here along with Ritter. I am very excited to be joining you with some very good games here on our good old CBL for the EU side at least. We're going to be starting with good old Story versus Kermit with Story Enjoyers attacking on Reginopolis. Very excited to see what Story Enjoyers will be bringing to attack on Reginopolis. Reginopolis being a very longer map that we've seen here. You know, that A-B give up with about 15 minutes to take that C point. Takes a little bit longer, and I'm very excited to see how they will be using their artillery advantage to be shooting down the Kermit, or maybe we'll see a little bit more aggressive, especially with how their bands are looking.
Bands are basically Spartans, Chengis, Phalanx, Lion Roar, Queen's Guard, or Queen's Knights, and the Doppelsöldner, which is German. explained before. Here you can see it. First map is gonna be Regionopolis, and second one is gonna be, can't see it right now,
Grasslands.
Grasslands. So we're playing the tiebreaker basically before the tiebreaker is happening. Grasslands is like a really funny map in my opinion.
Grasslands is definitely a very interesting map for, I believe Kermit shows that. Kermit choosing Grasslands is a very even map, not really one side is favoring the other. So it's very interesting to see a team pick that instead of the traditional siege map where they will either attack or defend it. Grasslands being more open, a more rotational kind of map here. I'm also very interested in these bans as well. The gold tower shields have been eliminated of those plume guards and the Spartans, so these front lines will not be as tanky as potentially other matches. And we even have Queen's Knight banned as well, you know, that very high burst damage unit. So I'm very curious to see if these matches will be, these fights will be a little bit longer because there's no queens, or be a little bit faster because there's no gold tower shields.
Yeah, I think having a lot of these units being picked out is making a lot of change, but I think like lion roars on field battle is not that important. Don't judge me for it. It's like very hard
I don't think I would ever bring lion roars to a field. There might be a little bit too much cav in a field battle to be bringing lion roar. It's so definitely Reginopolis. I can see it be banned there.
So I think it's Regionopolis based, and therefore I'm very curious on how they're gonna play around it by still being special units being up, a lot of them. So yeah.
Yes.
Interesting to what is
very notable save here is the yellow turbans were saved. That is a new unit that has been brought out this season. It's very interesting to see it be saved. It does have good healing, but there's shoots of dingers. There's like, I guess, paladins if you really wanted. There's alchemist. Bringing yellow turbans as your healing source, maybe. They do have that CC cleanse as well in their kit, but it is a new unit, so I'm very excited to see how Kermit will be bringing and using this unit, especially after the Zycalian militia nerf.
I did a mistake by the pick and ban. I just realized. It's the tiger, leopard, and cavalry and white plume guard being banned, and I said a different kind of ban.
Well, hopefully neither team brings those units.
I think they are banned out by the lobby anyway, so they can't.
Okay, there we go. As we head into Reginopolis.
Ooh, already seeing a lot of blue units being picked there. The good old fire lancers. I think that's healing archers, or does Rattan Viper? It's Schutzdieners, so it's
Schutzdieners,
healing archers. We just named them.
I am seeing 3 Siphanori on the side of story enjoyers. That's a lot of flames, and I don't see, you know, we just talked about those yellow turbans that Kermit saved, and it looks like they only have 1 yellow turban unit for these flames. They are also bringing their own set, 2 flames, it looks like. So very interesting. I'm also seeing quite a bit of Wuxing pikemen by Kermit. I'm also a very lackluster of shields by both sides. We see some stalwarts, very little stalwarts, and like a few Imperial shield guards. But for the most part, it looks like these teams will be running their specials as their front line, those claymores and those iron reapers, instead going for a damage reduction tank rather than a block tank for those stalwarts. It'll be very interesting to see how these fights go out. They probably be a little bit faster of fights, especially not having those stalwarts or those heavy shields blocking a lot of the damage.
Now we see some good old cinematics of the map, getting you a little bit of feeling for it, so you don't need to watch the slow beginning of it and have a little bit more of videographic I don't want to say the word for it, but fun.
Little
Maybe
cutscene.
the better thing against it. There we have the most fighted spot, I guess, behind C and on C point, basically, where usually all the fights are happening. And here we can see story enjoyers already getting all the units inside of the tunnel. Usually they are parking the units inside, so they can't get hurt from any shots or arty. And 1 or 2 guys have tunnel duty, where they just stay inside and watch if somebody's flanking them. And then everybody else is basically going for arty. There you can see one Bastard SWAT player in the back.
This is looking like a very standard traditional Reginopolis attack and defense. So far, we don't see any fun with the tunnel rush, and it looks like story enjoyers will be playing slow, getting on that starting already, breaking down all the breaches, getting a tower landed, and Kermit's just standing on the wall, waiting for these towers to land. So other things, just observing. We know once a breach goes down and story starts walking forward, Kermit will most likely be abandoning A and B and going back to C. See if that is exactly what Kermit has in plan. We have seen teams defend this A and B point before. Very exciting matches, but it does look like Kermit's already running back to the C point, realizing that we don't actually want to be defending this A and B point. A little bit too risky. We'll just head back to C and turtle up here.
Yeah. Basically just retreating there a little bit. I already heard something about Kermit's having a different approach to defending than everybody else for this map. So I don't want to spoiler it here. And I might be getting wrong intel.
Oh, some secret info of what Kermit could be doing here.
It's a bubble. Everybody talking, everybody yapping. So if you just listen sometimes from time to time, you get a lot of information inside, and there's a lot of information skipping from one side to another. And sometimes I get a gasp on them, and I get some intel as well.
Your intel is right. They do have those mortars in front of the C breach, which is definitely a very aggressive mortars there. Maybe they are defending at the front of the stairs. We haven't seen the top of stairs defense in a little bit of time. Usually teams like defending inside of C or maybe behind C, but these guys are deciding to defend on top of the stairs.
Yeah,
which
that's basically what I've been told, that top stairs is something Kermit Corps is gonna defend maybe around. And that's what you already can see, a lot of muskets being picked, so they have the high ground, and with the new musket buff, they basically can deny a lot of RD. And with their pre-placed mortars there, they can also challenge the enemy mortar spam, which is right now coming. So that's basically what they are playing around.
We do see that Kermit has 3 muskets there at the edge of that wall, trying to get all of story enjoyers mortars. As we see at that fountain, just a lot of mortars by story enjoyers trying to find some targets there, trying to find maybe those specialty, those doppelzellers, those shoots and dingers. But it doesn't look like these mortars are going to be able to have the angle to be hitting Kermit's units. And actually, it looks like Story has lost most of their artillery and are looking to push already up the stairs as they group up in the tunnels by supply.
I think there was just a trap on top of the tower because there was a field cannon. There's usually a field cannon to the right where they place 1 or 2 of the top tower and then just shoot down. But also like the musket spam is really strong.
These muskets will also be very good when this push starts happening. 3 muskets, 3 caltrops, 6 bombs. Going to be a lot of damage before the fight even starts. We do see a Kermit 2 dual blades down there at that A-B area doing a little bit of poke. Looks like they are just being a little bit of a harassment to the story enjoyer side.
That could be the adaptation or the French adaptation from Kermit Corps to the good old Amia Grieg combo, where they both been seen flanking all the time, and this may be the dual blade duo for Kermit Corps to do all the flanks.
Story enjoyers did a little bit of a bait up the stairs, gets a very good trebit onto those ISG and Modaus. Doesn't look like it will kill many of them, but did some heavy damage. The ISG will slowly heal it up, but those Modao are going to be a little annoyed by taking a Treb hit and 2. So looks like Story will be starting this push soon. They got their little turbines ready. Boys are going slowly up this staircase, definitely trying to bait Kermit to walk forward as much as they can. There is still Trebs available. 3 Treb coming out by Story Enjoyers. Will they be walking up these stairs with this Treb support coming in? So Felix going a little bit farther forward there, walking back. Those does look like they will just be baiting on this staircase, not actually walking forward. That was a big Treb hit, got a lot of the Doppelstauners out of the fight, but as long as you have one model Doppelstauner, they can still get their silence off. Story is just continuously baiting Kermit as Kermit just takes volley after volley of Treb hits. Huge Treb landing there as well. Actually, one Impulse Story killing Kermit Excalibur there as well. Massive Trebs here. This is going to be very detrimental to Kermit. I don't know how many units they have lost, but they have definitely taken heavy casualties from these Trebs. A Treb coming in on the main side of Seagate. Doesn't look like this will be as much hitting as we go into the engagement. As the shields meet shields, the Kermit Story Enjoyer is pushing in. The Reapers are going in. The flames are spewing onto the Kermit side. It does look like they are very quickly going into Yanya Dao, cleaving through Kermit's units. And it looks like this fight will be going heavily in favor of Story Enjoyers. Very clean, executed push here.
Very clean from Story Enjoyers to get this basically like any special forces would do, executed perfectly. There wasn't even bothered by, I don't think it was like 4 muskets or 3 muskets standing there. Nobody throw firebomb on these flamers there, so yikes. Welcome to the barbecue.
Yes, Story walked up, they took the space, they got their flames going in, and those Yanyu Daos coming in a little bit later to just clean up the rest of the unit. It just didn't seem like Kermit had the units to really hold Story Enjoyers in the place. They didn't really have a specialty. I don't think they had any of their flames. They didn't have any the yellow turbines. I don't think they even really had. I know they did have some Modao in there, but those Yans were still able to very easily clean through all of Kermit.
Yeah, but Story Enjoyers all really good players on a really good team. Very good established already, being one of the strongest from EU right from the bat. So them underestimating them, in my opinion, to face them so early with like a little bit of cheesy strat where you think about the enemy not hitting their traps or utilizing them good and fucking up their push with it. So I don't think this is such a good move against Story Enjoyers, who's like well known for being very clean on organizing themselves.
Story, it was definitely a play where you're hoping the enemy cannot get the Trebs. Story Enjoyers got some amazing Trebs in there that really crippled Kermit's forces to the point where I don't think they could really get the strength, the holding power that they wanted in there. I don't even think I saw the Doppelstauner silence come off either, so really just could not get the value out of the troops that they wanted.
Now we're gonna see a slow arty setup again, coming for end cap there, I guess.
Story Enjoyers still have 20 artillery pieces left. All their units slammed into this near the tower area. Kermit only has 4 pieces of artillery, so, and with 12 minutes on the clock, this is plenty of time for Story to do really whatever they want to do here. Kermit is walking out with their muskets, though. Not 2 muskets. Looking to bomb some of that artillery. Does find 1, I believe 2 mortars around that tower. Yep. They do find 2 mortars to break. Job by Kermit. But there is still plenty of artillery by Story Enjoyers. Yeah, setting up the other tower and a little bit lower so that they could get some value. A little bit of deathmatch happening in front of that home point and just muskets shooting around at each other. Nothing really should be coming out of this. Let's see what all happens.
Very a lot of bombardment happening there. It's 10 minutes on the clock, so I guess good old Story Enjoyers gonna take their time a little bit to find some angles or go for the arty and then wait for the right moment, or even let the muskets throw some bombs inside of the pit there. So
Surrenders, let's start walking forward, throwing some caltrops, throwing some bombs, walking back. They do have the support of their other players there to make sure that in case a DB comes and chokes them, they'll be able to get out. It does look like we're just going to be sitting here for a little bit, doing an artillery phase. Does look like some of Kermit's mortars have found the angle to hit Story Enjoyer's units. They're going to have to move around a bit. But Story Enjoyers does have those yellow turbines to heal up their units without worrying too much. So that's a very weird mortar by Kermit, placed at the outside of home point where that dual blade and musket are on the left side there.
But also, like, the one, if they have traps left, they could trap easily the mortar, but I don't think they're gonna.
2 bastard swords went off to get it. I was talking about the one between C and home. Does look like Story was able to find it and destroy it. Just a very funny mortar there. It does look like Story is now thinking of pushing in here, slowly walking forward. Their units have made it onto the stairs. Let's do a very slow push here as the shields now walk forward. Kermit rotating around to meet them as well. Is this a little bit of a bait push, or is this committing to it? They're going far around. They're going to be fighting on the home point. It looks like this is very good for them, getting that. We will be able to get some trev support as the shields now meet shields. A massive mosh. Doppelsider silence comes out by both sides, but those look like every ability has gone in. The Yans are going in, but it doesn't look like they will be able to get their cast off as they were Doppelsider silence. So shields a little bit light here as the units are casting all their abilities very even so far. Not really one side taking the lead. Doesn't look like Story Enjoyers is actually running out of units. They are getting surrounded, and it does look like Kermit will be able to hold strong. The flames burning alive. Story Enjoyers having a good old barbecue here, and it does look like Kermit will be holding off, clearing out the rest of Story Enjoyers. Now they just need to be able to clean up the rest of the units and reset back up. A very good defense by Kermit here. Now reset back up for Story Enjoyers. Story Enjoyers not able to resupply, and this will close in that unit gap here. Now only a 100 unit gap difference, but Kermit has 200 of those being the green units. So a little bit more on the quality side for Story Enjoyers as Kermit now closes their gates so they can't do any quick repush. I don't think any quick repush would be happening here as the Story looked like they were completely wiped out. I believe the flames from Kermit just living through that engagement were able to do a lot of cooking on these Story Enjoyers. They just did not have the as much of an aggressive loadout to get onto those flames. So the Kermit were able to hold strong this time and able to repel the Story Enjoyers push as we now go back into a regroup, see if Story Enjoyers does another artillery phase or if they will be just regrouping and pushing again.
The classic setup again, looking into it. Maybe they're taking their good old time, but they're still like, I think it's like 100 units, so almost 100 units ahead of them.
A little bit of a death match there. 2 of Kermit go down. Just a little bit too aggressive onto the Story Enjoyers side. You hate to see your friends go down. It does look like they will not be out of the fight though. Only 1 person on Kermit on their last life, where Story also has 1 person on their last life. Also, Story already pushing in, going onto this home point, doing the same push again. They do have flames this time, but Kermit has their own flames as well. See where this engagement going. Kermit finding a little bit further back. The flames coming in from Story Enjoyers already cooking into the Kermit side. Hard to really see what's happening here as the engagement comes on. The Treb comes in, getting big hits on the left side. The Yans as well coming in. Will they be able to get a good sweep? They will be able to get a good sweep through the Kermit side, and this is going to be very detrimental. Kermit doesn't look like they have the units remaining to be able to hold off Story Enjoyers anymore. They need to get some cav in here to clear off this point, or really any infantry as well, just to get on, as the Kermit will now be scrambling. We're already past 3/4 cap on this home point. They got to get on and stall as long as they can, 90%, and this will be going towards Story Enjoyers for a win on Reginopolis.
Ooh.
As we see, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. But Impulse being here like the musket player, and on the other side having Jan Atomic Yan having also a musket player being now MVP of their teams. And then on the second for the Kermits, we have a dual blade. On the Story and side, we have a bastard sword. And I think it's a good mix in the top 5 with the now buffed heroes. Musket maybe needs a little bit more of a look in, but it's also like CBL gameplay right now. So therefore, Musket's having a lot of impact on special units and stuff like this. So very important here. But overall, I think it's very, very good to see a little bit of mix from Kermit's side and seeing them to go for a different strategy once in a while, so we don't get too bored as a viewer to see only the good old C or behind C dev. So I really, really love it. But Story Enjoyers, too, so strong, so good with their pushes. The staircase push was so well executed. Overall,
Yes,
just very fascinating to watch.
Story did very good on their pushes there. Kermit was able to defend one of those pushes, but it just wasn't enough time. They didn't have their units remaining to continue being the defense here. As we can see with this wonderful chart, you can see where Kermit kind of lost all these engagements besides that second push for it was, they won, but they really lost quite a bit as well. You would like to see that that gap between the peaks a little bit farther, kind of like that first push there. You can see by that third push by Story Enjoyers, Kermit just lost way too fast, way too quickly, way too decisively. They just could not hold for long enough to get any reinforcements coming in here.
We can just see how devastating the push on the stairs was there with the graph going like for Story Enjoyers.
Yes.
Yes,
that peak was, and that's a pretty good spot to defend there. You get like a good surround on the enemies, but it just didn't seem like Kermit really had the units to execute that surrounding kill. I'd have to look at what units they were bringing, but again, they were hit by many trebs, and that hit probably, I think, a good chunk of their Doppelstanners and a good chunk of their other units as well. And it just made it really hard for them to defend.
True, in general. Looked very, very strong. I still can't get over the fact about the stair push, in my opinion, because having so much muskets there, I didn't thought that flames would have so much impact there. But I don't know what happened there to remember that they maybe just waited for the grenades to be out, but counting all the grenades from so many muskets to push on that would be okay. Maybe my head is just too small for that, but I'm just thinking about how they did
3
it.
muskets. You would think by the time that push even got up the stairs, there would be caltrops the entire way, some fire bombs so the flames can't do anything, maybe even some black powder bombs. I mean, you have 6 bombs in there, especially with 3 bombs, 6 with the rune, which every musket probably is running that rune. So 6 bombs there. That push should be well stalled out to give you enough time to react to it, but it just didn't seem like Kermit was able to react to it fast enough, and Story Enjoyers was able to get the setup and really take the space, hold the space to where Kermit was not able to really push them back down the stairs and were hit by a wall instead. So Story Enjoyers did a really good job getting that space, not being affected by those musket players at all, getting those good trebs so that Kermit couldn't really hold them either. I mean, all in all, it was just phenomenal plays by Story Enjoyers there.
Yeah, overall. Like I said before, Story Enjoyers is such a strong team in the EU, and overall, I think worldwide right now recognized as a team to fear out or to look out for. And Masked Flames also like a big name from the past, and also came back to CB, joined again, and now still dominating some fights inside of CBL.
Still dominating. Yeah. It's like they're a very well-known team, very established. And I mean, Kermit, I know Kermit's also a very good team as well, but when you're going against one of the top dogs, it's really hard to be like, it's hard to perform against one of the top teams, for sure. Dang flag. It's coming at me. And but yeah. Very excited to see this grasslands is coming up. Very excited to see how that's gonna go.
First,
maybe
we have
Kermit's. Oh right.
Switched.
Swap sides. Reggie. My bad.
So it's different attackers now. So Kermit is gonna attack, Story Enjoyers is gonna defend, and then we might be seeing field battle. But right now, Story Enjoyers did really, really well, very dominated this first one. But that could be also about Kermit going for a little bit of cheesy strat, where they defend in front of the point, which in my opinion was like a coin flip. Like Story Enjoyers took some time to adapt and find the, you know what I'm talking about, to push up.
Yeah.
But as soon as they did, they pulled through.
Yes, and I think they did a great job. It seemed like Kermit was falling for Story Enjoyer's bait of, Story walking up the stairs, not fully committing, and then Trebbing and Kermit was like, oh, they're going to push. And so they stayed a little bit farther forward than they would like, just to be able to respond to any actual push. And unfortunately, being that little bit farther forward, it just cost them too many troops to the point where they just couldn't hold in. I mean, it was just great mind games by Story Enjoyers. Kermit just didn't seem like they had the experience to deal with those kind of mind games.
I think they have the experience. Like for a normal team, they would just execute order A and then go be like, what we do now. But for Story Enjoyers, it was like they're stepping back from it, so they give the room to the muskets. They immediately started building their mortars way back more. Usually you also put them in front a little bit more because they are blue mortars, and you try for the angle to shoot inside of the one tower standing there on C, where usually all the units are being parked. But they adapted, in my opinion. So we can't judge this, but I'm guessing right now. So they adapted to pivot to the fountain in the beginning and placing all their mortars there to shoot at the spot there because they thought it's going to be fought there, which they saw coming. But after them seeing, okay, the impact of all the musket players there is really hard on our arty, so we can't go through with this. They pulled a little bit up, pulled the units inside of the garage, the tunnel, and they just waited for the best point basically to push then up, or maybe just looked into it, how we're going to execute it, maybe min-maxed a little bit, how to coordinate, who's going to do what, and if we step up the stairs, how we execute, because then Mask, I think, or the team leaders need to talk a little bit about who is responsible for what, because that is a special situation they maybe didn't plan around.
Right. And I mean, Reginopolis, you could play that. That C point is really the entire map, and there's so many ways to play it that it's hard to really plan for everything, right? Granted, most of the time, I don't think we've really seen any people go through that small side or through the tunnels, but most of the time, or basically all the time, they're going to come up that main staircase. That's the only real guarantee you can force. But it's really the defenders deciding, all right, do we want to defend the front of the staircase on top of the stairs? Or do we want to defend in C, let them come in there? It gets a little bit more resistant to the trebs. Or do we defend behind C, get that C point, or maybe even push through C while they're capturing? And there's so many options here on Reginopolis for the defenders really to how they defend and how the attackers respond to how the defenders defend.
I'm just getting my mind right now into it. I'm usually not thinking from the team captain's perspective to planning how to execute right now on Regionopolis, but now thinking into musket changes, defending behind C usually grants the attacking team the upper side of the walls, therefore the high ground, and then you are basically screwed.
Yes.
Because if they're playing a lot of muskets,
you give a lot of musket advantage to the attackers if you defend behind C. Which you probably don't want to do when those musket changes have been happening. No, you just do still have your own high ground by that home point, so you can put your muskets there, but it's not going to be as valuable as the attackers, on the wall, be able to really hit basically all of your units.
And then giving defenders up C also grants them the... So I think most of the defenses is going to be maybe on stairs, like we saw right now, because of the really high ground, or you have to defend on C to deny them the high ground behind C. Based on the changes to musket. Just my mind right now, but Like, all the team leaders gonna be sitting there since weeks or even years maybe, and thinking about stuff like this. So their mind is gonna be way further ahead than me thinking 5 minutes.
Well, we didn't see too many muskets. We saw 3 on Kermit. I think there was only 2 on Story Enjoyers. So there isn't that many muskets as we go into now our Reginopolis. Once again, starting on the defensive side, let's see how these unit comps are looking. And I'm seeing, once again, only one of the yellow turbines on Kermit's side. And they are bringing 2 flames, where Story Enjoyers are bringing 3 flames, 2 yellow turbines. They're on, and then the very standard comps here. I'm not seeing any units that are standing out to me besides, a very traditional comp. It definitely looks like Kermit is favoring more shields than Story Enjoyers. Story Enjoyers still light on the shields, but it looks like they are bringing a lot more shields than they did previously, but still not crazy amount.
But we see like I said, I think already the flames being one of the major trades there on the right side. We have the Cocos Kermit.
Kermit bringing a Helot Auxiliary.
Yeah,
but see a supply.
Cocos playing them upstairs is going to be a pain in the butt.
And especially playing Cocos when they were recently nerfed is definitely an interesting play.
And the musket buff also coming into play.
Yeah, musket buff, Coco nerf. Definitely interesting. And you're fighting down the stairs most of the time, so elevation's not in your favor. Really very interesting to bring Cocos. I think I would have liked to see it when they were defending, but attacking is going to be...
We are just trying to gasp on their mind, and maybe they're having such a good plan for executing them, or maybe they're bringing them way later, so we didn't thought about that. So us yapping here and guessing around what their 5 heads are planning around is usually just random guessing.
Right. You never know what these Icalian militia are going to be up to.
True.
They could do anything.
Maybe they get a patch where they can jump down from buildings and jump into enemy units.
They start climbing walls, and they drop the bombs below them. Maybe they know some hidden tech, and I would love to know it as well. So guys, please show me it so that I can replicate it in every single game that I play. We will see exactly how. But this is looking like a fairly traditional Reginopolis attack and defense. It doesn't look like Kermit is pushing any of the towers. Doesn't look like they're really shooting the breaches either, so I'm a little confused. Like Kermit here. Does look like they are breaking supply breaches, supply breaches, but the B side looks like it's full HP. The A gate looks full HP. So they're just taking a little bit more time than Story did to really start their advance onto Reginopolis here. Oh, never mind. It does look like the A breach was destroyed. I was just seeing the health bar for the gate instead. Alright. A gate down. Looks like Story Enjoyers has fully retreated back to the C point, doing fairly traditional defense here. Now Kermit walks onto the A. And this is by the book so far, but see if anything happens by the C point. If Story and Kermit will do anything crazy for the C point area.
Right now it looks like the classic setup where they store all the units inside of the tower I talked before. With the mortar setup. So I guess it's gonna be the C setup, like a little bit predicted before, because behind C is gonna be giving the ground or the high ground to musket players right now, which are being used a lot, and special units playing a very important role.
Right. And STRY is definitely on that C point rather than in front of it. Kermit taking their time getting into this beef here. Very slow coming to this supply, this A supply. They're very snaky as well. Not running as a group, instead quite a bit dispersed. So just take a little bit of time. Now they do have 14.5 minutes, so plenty of time to really do whatever they want here. But maybe taking a little bit of extra time that they could have for later. Hopefully this doesn't go against them when we go when it goes later into this fight.
Yes.
Let's see. And just
Give me a second. I need to also fix the other side.
We're setting up their artillery barrage on this A side, well, supply side. Mortars. One of the mortars was a little bit too far forward. Will get found by the musket. Fortunate for them. But Rangers having a mortars in the back, I see.
I think your microphone is going a little bit south there. And I have to...
background noise.
It's sounding like you're talking into like a little cone.
Have to get crashing for me for a second.
I need to figure out my buttons right here. So we have the push from Story Enjoyers going there inside, and they're pushing in. No, from Kermit's going into Story Enjoyers flames. They're getting the room already, jumping the flames. I think the flames are already dead. I can't see anything flying there anymore. Phalanx pushing a little bit too far back, but it's still looking like a good vibe for Story Enjoyers. That should be a clear thing for them to do. And that should be the first fight there already happening inside for Story Enjoyers. So very quick one, very dirty one for them.
Yes, okay, now speed background noise has ended. Unfortunately, I missed that first engagement. It looked like Kermit tried to get a little bit of a flank. They sent one person on the flank. The Story Enjoyers was able to deal with the front so easily that the Kermit's flank wasn't even able to get there by the time Story Enjoyers pushed in. Kermit already regrouping and doing another push. Doesn't look like they missed many lives, so already pushing in. But Story Enjoyers has the flame still alive, and it does look like Kermit will actually be able to fully get in here. Is already collapsing onto the Story Enjoyers side. The Phalanx doing wonderful damage onto the Stalwarts and ISG, but the Story Enjoyers yang you down, come in and get a good cleaving here. Double Stunner Silence comes in as well into the Kermit side. But it doesn't look like it's going to be able to do enough for Story Enjoyers. Stalls a little bit of time. Story brings another set of flames in here as they cook the Kermit side alive, getting a lot of the yellow turbines out of the fight, but the yellow turbines actually probably keeping the units alive, not getting that flame debuff on them. Kermit bringing their own Yanya down, clean straight through all of Story Enjoyers' units. Story Enjoyers needs to get a little bit more units here. They have run out of units. They still have some heroes left. The Yanya Dows from Kermit still cleaning up as now Kermit races on the point, blocking the interest in here. They have Star Wars and ISG, and it looks like Kermit will be getting this C point. Story Enjoyers running back to home. It's going to be a very close engagement. We do see most of the time when you get forced back to home, you do lose, but actually, it looks like Kermit will be doing a snowball effect, maybe fully going through. Story Enjoyers will be closing the gate, so Kermit will have to spend a little bit extra time rotating around. They will not be able to snowball all the way to home. Instead, we'll be setting up for this convoy instead. 13.5 minutes on the clock, plenty of time for Kermit to do really whatever they want. 23 artillery, unit difference looking fairly even, with Kermit still bringing 140 greens. So again, quality goes to Story Enjoyers, but these units are close enough to where it's not big of a deal. That's now Kermit's setting up at the small gate, the supply side area. We don't see many teams ever set up out here. This is going to be very interesting.
I think it's only for arty setup, so they can shoot out a lot of units being placed there.
This is very aggressive arty setup. Like story doors could very easily get their muskets out here and bomb all of these mortars. So it's very interesting to be setting up. And that is a line of mortars. It's a very long line of mortars. So I mean, as soon as story doors can get out there, I mean, they could hit these mortars very easily as long as Kermit, you know, lets them have it. But it does look like Kermit does set up stalwarts to the side of that gate. So we'll stop any musket from fully peeking out. But I mean, story could still go out the front and go around that way to get these mortars. Doesn't look like any of them will be testing their luck as the mortar barrage thing goes crazy here.
Jesus, the amount of things raining down there like hell. Just bombardment after bombardment. Imagine being a normal unit there and just looking up, be like, no, it's gonna hit me. Must be one of the worst days to be alive as a unit.
You're just hiding under this little archway, praying while the mortars don't hit you.
I hope the builder did this well, so the mortars are not getting through it. Now they're moving a little bit after the first mortar started hitting really good. And now it's gonna get a little bit of strange. I think they could retreat a little bit to the normal point where the glaive is right now sitting on the left side there, because nobody can trap them there. So they should be fine standing there, or at least better. But right now they're losing already flames and good units there, so very, very strange. All the mortars still fighting, and Stories Enjoyers just sitting that one out. Nobody trying to move, trying to flinch. It's just some guys chilling there and being like, okay, let them rain down hell on us. We just gonna sit here and wait it out. Still having Kermit's having the unit advantage. I'm getting confused by the left-right thingy, but you have to watch for the color there. Which team is which? Can look into how many units are still alive after the bombardment. It's not looking too bad.
Kermit coming to the main front area though, it's finally grouping up here. It does look like they will be maybe setting up another artillery base. Oh, nice move, sorry.
And they're just going up a little bit just to place another set of mortars there.
Another set of artillery by Kermit. They only have 5 artillery pieces left, so to make good use of whatever arty they place now here. It does look like their artillery has done quite a bit of value here. I'm just looking at the top, and it does look like they've gotten quite a bit of unit kills. They've definitely evened out. I don't remember exactly how many units were remaining. I think it was 1080 to 991. So they have gotten a good amount of units here, maybe a little bit more than they were imagining. Sorry, losing quite a bit of units here. Definitely not what they want to see. The other tournaments maybe not keeping up with the damage from Kermit's artillery.
In general, just getting... I think they just took 3 units in the time where you started talking about how many units were shot out, so it's taking a long time, but it's also not only about how many units they get in total, but it's also about weakening them enough for one push to go through, and still the people, if they just go back and pull in new units, that may be the right spot then to push, and Kermit is just going to have a look for it, for a unit retreating and then going for it. because even if they just see it running away, maybe pushing in the right moment, they end up getting another set of units for free and therefore having a better trade in the end. Because every unit model right now is counting. 8 minutes left, both sides having 900 or almost 1000 units. I usually go by 100 units a minute, which is like the average speed of speeds in CBL, where you have like 100 units per minute is usually fine for the defender or the attacker.
KERM is now starting to push in. It's like they're going to be going the same route that Story Enjoyers had on their push. Story actually meeting them at that gap, not letting KERM fully push out, and instead of meeting them in their flames from Story Enjoyers already burning into their trap coming in here. We'll be a little bit late as the Yans now go. It's going to be very hard for our camera to unfortunately see in there. It's a very tight space. It does look like Story's very easily going through and crushing KERM. The Yans from Story cleaning up very quickly. It looks like KERM was quickly crushed here. Really didn't look like they killed much here. The Reapers are doing some damage. Those are Flail Reapers doing wonderful work on the stalwarts. It does look like they swapped to Sword Reapers now. But Story will be quickly. And it looks like KERM, those Reapers are holding strong. They will now fall down. We're not able to hold the line against the double Reaper phalanx, Claymore, all those other units there. KERM already re-pulling here. Will they be able to quickly re-push in? But it does look like Story Enjoyers actually is set up, so KERM will not be able to quickly push in here. Fight definitely went in favor of Story, but I think that was a little bit more even. Neither side really winning more than the other.
No, you could
even
watch at the unit trade going up on top, where you see the numbers falling down, and it was very heavily in favor of Story Enjoyers there. Going there. But the defense overall looked so solid. They pushed immediately, executed their being faster than the trap basically, which is also very important there. Yes. They didn't give them the ground to utilize the trap really well, and then they just pulled through.
Meeting them at that area so that KERM couldn't get a good trap in. The Flames already getting their flames in before that trap ever hit. Just a great job by Story Enjoyers. KERM did try to get there, but just seemed like they were a little bit too slow. I wonder if the Helot Auxiliary have been used by KERM. I know that they brought one, and that would have been a good play using it there, but I think they had it out. Press C. Spacebar brings it up.
It's looking like the same push again, basically. We can look a little bit for special units. I don't think there's special units left for both sides right now, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't saw them.
I still haven't seen these gosh darn Helots. If you press spacebar, I think it shows their... Yeah, there we go. Yep, the Helots are still there by Alpha. So they still have Helots, they just aren't bringing them. Would have loved to see the Helots be brought in. Quite a bit of units here. The push is starting to happen here. KERM going in once again, looking like they're not going all the way around, instead going a little bit closer, realizing, hey, let's stop them from pushing into there. As Story now pushes straight into there, not letting KERM take any space. The Phalanx walking a little bit far from Story Enjoyers, guarding that flank there. The Reapers from Story Enjoyers going deep into KERM. The yanking down from KERM trying to get through that flank, but the Phalanx will meet them easily. And it does look like Story is just going to very easily wipe KERM here. Story having just a ton of Reapers, as we can see by these icons. There's just Reapers everywhere. Reapers, Claymores, a little bit of Stalwarts, but mostly Reapers and Claymores. And they just will cleanly go through it, having those DR tanks rather than the block tanks. It's just so much beef that KERM did not have the damage to go through. Not having those Queen's Knight be banned makes it so those Reapers can very easily go through these lines without worrying too much about anything. As now Story sallies out, getting on the supply, and now KERM will not be able to pull out any more units. Does look like Story will lose a few of their heroes here, but will very easily clean up all of KERM as they go into a full sally here. Wondering if KERM is low on hero lives. We have gone through 3 pushes, so I'm assuming that quite a few of Kermit are now out of this fight. Press spacebar. There you go.
Yeah, generally really, really strong again from story enjoyers going there. You can just see how aggressive they even deal with it as a defender and how confident they are in winning those blob fights, which is whew, just stunning to see and to witness.
Sea breach has not been broken, so Kermit has to go through this tiny gateway to get back to home. Really not what you want to be doing when Story gets set up has Phalanx and another stalwarts. Phalanx, stalwarts, some more Reapers. The Yans are going to come through this small gateway, go clean through all of Kermit as the push starts happening. The Kudalirs try to get through, but the Phalanx will stop them in their tracks there. The Cavs trying to get through. The Story has wonderful anti-cav here as they push straight through. Kermit cannot stop the wall from moving. The Treb comes in, looks like it's a little bit off. They're not exactly what you want to be seeing. Does get some good damage in there, but it will not be enough as Story just pushes straight through, and Kermit does not have the units nor the heroes to be able to stop Story enjoyers from doing a full sally out. It does look like some people are starting to leave.
Ratan's left there, so it's just a cleanup. I guess the rest of Kermit is gonna know scatter or even just retreat to give the round away. So it's already going to story enjoyers here. Really, really strong, in my opinion. Super, super strong.
Very good defense and attack by story enjoyers, even getting a sally out as well. A minute and a half on the clock, but Kermit just doesn't have anything left to be able to do this attack. They have one purple unit. I don't know what one purple unit they got. It's one guy. I don't know where he is. Maybe he can beat the 566. Maybe he's maybe they bought the good old gray hair Garrison and he's gonna go do great things.
I would see this Grand Pass to perform.
I would love to see the gray hairs come in and start wondering. All these young whippersnappers don't know what they're talking about. We need some gray hair Garrison. They'll deal with the Reapers. Surely. It's now Kermit's fully leave 30 seconds remaining. Yeah.
I think we're gonna hit a small break afterwards as well, because we have 10 minutes left then for the next match. So we're gonna go a little bit into talking what we can remember of the last two rounds. Story enjoyers winning this matchup, and then heading a small break and then going into the next matchup.
We go into our post-game stats here. This chart is very disorganized, so I don't know who the true MVP is, but Brunhild MVP on Kermit's side, that short sword, with 110 unit kills. I do see another guy with 123 at the bottom there. Like Kermit, don't know what his name is. I can't read that, but and then story enjoyer's side having Mask Flames as the MVP with 158 unit kills, and then there's another guy below him with 181 with story enjoyer with 181. Great stats all around. Wish it was a little bit more organized so I could tell exactly where we are in here, but all right. Look, so we go into our chart here. You can see that first push went fairly even for both sides, but that was really where it ended in the evenness of these two teams. As you see here, Kermit just lost every single engagement afterwards, and really by these charts, it's not even close. So a little bit of work to be done there. Their first push did great, but it just didn't seem like it was they were not able to keep that momentum up throughout the entire match. We were able to get to the home point, but unfortunately, story enjoyers just played a little bit better at that home point and were able to hold very firm, very strongly.
Yeah, endpoint could also be just draft thingy where they drafted way better, and therefore it ended their advantage.
Yeah, story enjoyers bringing a lot more Reapers and permit. When you're going against that much units with damage reduction, I mean, Reapers have, you know, I think it's a 60% damage reduction, and then the Claymores giving them another 35. I mean, that's so much damage reduction coming in there. It's really hard to kill him. You need something like those Queen's Knights, which were banned. Flames are something that has a very high minimum damage. We could have seen some Wuxing Pikemen. They have a very high minimum damage, and they hit quite a few times. But it did seem like they were really prepared for the Reapers. Sorry, Reapers.
So let's head in a little break, and then we come back to you guys for the next matchup of CC versus Slap, and then having the next match. Bye-bye. Do we have a little break? Hello, and there we are back. A little bit of coordination in the background. My last group, or my last lobby basically bugged on me. I started it and I was the only guy inside of it. Pretty bad, so I had to rejoin it, and then it was a little bit fucked for both sides. Happens. So, now we are back at our game. CC versus Slap, and we can take a little look at the pick and ban before we go into the match.
This will be Heilong Fjord with CC, formerly known as Copper Collectors, on the attack here. We do have the bands of White Plume Spartans, Claymores, Lion Roar, Tiger and Leopard Cav, and Rattan Vipers, and saving the Phalanx and Queen's Knights. Once again, the Gold Tower Shields have been banned, but we are leaving Queens open. So these will probably be even a lot faster fights, especially with Queens. And the Claymore's damage reduction, giving that to the team, is also gone. So we will be seeing probably a lot faster of fights here, especially on Heilong Fjord. A lot faster of a map than Reginopolis. You know, Reggie has a lot of time to set up that arty and do some bombing runs. Heilong Fjord, almost the exact opposite. You're going to have to be a lot faster. There is a lot of time to set up these artillery unless you very quickly cap A, B, and C. But usually teams will defend that A, B area, and then they will fall back to behind at C near that supply area. I did see some other teams defend that C point, so I'm very excited to see exactly how Slap will be defending this at the first time. But, I mean, any line or crew on Heilong, it's definitely an interesting play, especially with both of the shields being banned as well, and saving Queens. So it'll be very interesting. How do you feel about this, Bruder?
Oh no, Heilong Fjord is such a coin flip in general, and therefore I saw so many things on Heilong Fjord is usually just going for a brute force push or something like this, so I can't judge the impact basically, because even with the meta changes and them being like, I just want to witness them, and then I maybe go into predicting something again, but
Right. I mean, we will be seeing Queen's Knights this game, so it'll be very interesting. See how that changes, how this dynamic is going to be going on. I only expect these fights to be a lot faster, maybe a little bit more dispersed. Queen's Knights love their 1v1s, a little bit more of a spread out fight rather than a very tight fight. So we're very excited to see if these fights will be tight or if they will be a little bit more spread out. But it's Heilong Fjord. Really, anything can happen on this map. As it's a world of possibilities, really. So very excited to see if Copper Collectors will be attacking this. I wonder if they will be doing a B rush, going through that B gate, or even going through the B breach. I do see that sometimes. It's not super common. It has a very high chance of backfiring, especially if the defenders react to it quickly enough. But it could also very quickly get through that BA phase, and you go right to C, and it makes the map a lot faster. It gives the attackers a lot more time to really do what they want.
yeah, so still waiting for the lobby to pop here, I guess.
But other than that, I mean, the Tiger and Leopard Cat being banned is an interesting ban. That is a new unit from this season, widely considered a bad unit. It was recently buffed. I haven't really experienced much of its buff. I don't know if it's really come into the metagame much, but seeing as that Slap Bandit, it must be performing somewhat all right. I know in Three Kingdoms it's pretty good, but I don't know about CB1, CBL here. It's going to be a little bit more confusing to see it if it's. But it's banned, so, and we did see it in the previous matchup on Reginopolis, so obviously it's not super strong to where teams are always going to be bringing it, but Slap is at least concerned about it enough to ban it.
Yeah, but it's also like sometimes it's not. It's not only about which unit is good or not, but it's also fitting inside of your comp or maybe countering or supporting what you want to set up, basically. So therefore, different picks are more available. We are now looking into 6 bans and 2 saves, but for a knockout stage, it's going to be 10 bans. So we're going to see a lot of different unit comps based on so many bans being applied. Oh, my English is getting worse with the time.
As we now go into the lobby here, our unit selection phase here. I'm going to go over the Copper Collectors. I'm seeing basically every single one of them bringing a Queen's Knight. I'm also seeing a few AZAPs. AZAPs, not really brought before. They come in every once in a while. Bringing 3 AZAPs is definitely interesting. Now I get back on this. So
that was the AZAPs you can hear in the background going.
Yeah, the AZAPs are coming for me. They're hearing my shit talk and they are not happy about it. I don't know what purple charging Lancer cap that is. That's probably Dagger Axe by Copper Collectors. Also, I've seen quite a bit of Shenji being brought in by both teams. Shenji's having that very high burst damage. So again, these fights should be going very fast. Both teams are getting a lot more of that burst, very quick action, kill everything right there, go on to the next time for whatever cooldown's going. It would be very interesting to see if any frontline holds for even more than like 2 seconds here, as there's going to be such a high amount of damage be pumped out by both sides, not having those Spartans or those White Plume Guards to soak it up. It would be very difficult. So we go through our Halong Fjords cinematic here. Let's go immediately. It's a B rush. I knew it. Called it. Actually, is it a B rush? We're placing mortars down. It's a B rush fake. We're not rushing. We're actually slow walking. We're taking a gentle stroll through B point. Okay. Interesting. Gentle stroll to B. Rush. Flush. I mean, this is just gentle stroll. The Iron Cap archers from Slab doing their explosive arrows onto that stalwart unit. Those archers will do some heavy damage. Actually, the Copper Collectors already pushing in through the breach. Wondering, these ISG are really far forward from Copper Collectors. They got a lot of space here, maybe a little bit too aggressive. They don't have that much. Where the Iron Cap archers are raining their explosive arrows onto the ISG. ISG don't care. They'll heal it back up. But those Iron Cap archers really just tried to do their job. They got a lot of damage numbers. Copper Collectors having an AZAP at that A point. And already pushing out this B. Where's Slab going? Guys, where are we going? We're going back. We're on the bridge. We're a little confused as to where we're going. B already getting to quarter caps. We're a little confused as to where the fight's going to be happening here. Slab, pick a direction. Go to A, go to B. We're just kind of in the middle. It does look like we're going to A. But Copper Collectors immediately retreating back. So
nice play by CC. Jesus.
Slab is just super confused here. Slab doesn't know where to go. They're like, do we go A? Do we go B? Oh, they left A. Okay, but they took B. So like, where do we go now? Guys, ISG are still here at A, but now all the rest of the units have left.
Catch the heroes of A.
Copper Collectors, the B side will be going. Copper Collectors B push will be going down here. Finally crushed by Slab. Slab finally figured out. Yeah, we're gonna go B. Kill these guys here. We've lost A. We'll just get B, get some unit kills here, get some value. But they have strategy on the supply point. See, the Copper Collectors now pushing to the B supply here. They gotta be careful. All of Slab is here and ready for Copper Collectors to push in. It does look like Copper Collectors, they realize they don't want to actually push this B supply. Going back to A, gonna capture A. No problems. As they go all the way, as Slap now goes to C, 8 minutes, 45 seconds on the clock. Plenty of time for Copper Collectors to really do whatever they want here.
So odd to see CC going from so many angles and Slap being so... Where should I go? What should I do? Cotton Eye Joe.
Yes. As Copper Collectors left Slap as if Slap was slapped and they were just dazed and confused. Didn't know what to do. Went back and forth several times. Went to A. They lost to B. They're like, well, we've already lost B, so we'll just go back to B and, you know, clean up what's over there. We'll just give up A as well. But we are seeing maybe a C defense here. I know typically in the EU NA side, we do not see this kind of positioning much. I know in the APAC teams, they love this position. They love defending the C point at the front area so that Copper Collectors would not be able to walk up there. We'll see if Slav can hold it as well as the APAC players can hold this kind of area. If we have a stalwart kind of just AFK onto the C point, very interesting. I don't know, it's moving out. Collectors rotating to that B supply, realizing, where we're at today, we can't really do much. Slap has those mortars shooting at us, or just rotate to B. As a stalwart brace there, that is in a trebleable area, so we'll see if Copper Collectors trebs it. We can do a little bit of a bait with these stalwarts, hoping to get a treb.
See the mass mortar placement there. I love to see it if it like just blinks up all the mortars or stuff being placed at the same time. I think that's kind of funny thing to witness or see, where they be like spaced out and then place them for everybody. So basically you want to space out your arty a little bit, not being on one spot, obviously for multiple reasons, but the major reason is AoE damage from other arties or the muskets throwing some shit at them. And right now we're gonna witness the good old mortar fight again. Mortar combat it is. And there we can hear the ASAPs going again in the background. We just abuse it right now. It's gonna be the meme of the evening, which is fine. Having Slap rotate there out of the mortars, also placing their mortars, so it's gonna be this for, I guess, 1 minute. And then CC is gonna move up. So just firing from side to side. Again, a really bad time to be a unit.
Very true. I'd hate being a unit in this war zone. You just see bombs being dropped everywhere. Big old flaming balls of rock just going left and right. And you're just in the middle and you're like, please don't hit me. Please don't hit me.
And there's no moral buff on units, or you have them in your loadout and they have PTSD from the last matchup. I witnessed the great mortar bombardment. Not happening.
Some of them get like a steel resolved. Now whenever there's mortars being fired, they hold strong. Again, they raise their shield and they actually take a mortar shot and there's no damage being dealt to them. They're just that strong-willed.
Yeah, for me, very impressive was Story Enjoyer sitting there in their corner and be like, no, it's fine. It's just a little bit rainy outside.
Copper Collectors already pushing in, and then I'll get back organized. Stall you up to you, brother.
Good trap. I think this one is gonna hit really, really good there. You can already see it coming in there, but it's blocked by the... one is hitting, two are hitting, the calf is going straight into it. There's some Queen's Guard in the back, cleaning everything. 4 Queen's Guard on one spot. The main blob is winning for CC there. They're getting a little bit, but they're getting flanked from our side. The Queen's Guard being so around them and utilizing their speed and step mechanic to go around, but still CC is looking very, very strong. It's looking super good for them here. They're looking way better set up for this fight, and I think CC is taking this one home. So C is gonna be captured by CC in a couple of seconds, and we wait for the good old Furious D to come back to us with his mighty voice.
The AZFs are truly trying to get to me, man. I keep trying to attack them, but they keep parrying me and striking back. What am I supposed to do?
Don't be afraid of him. Just take it fully
I can't.
in.
They put they raise their sword and shield, and I swing and they counter strike me, and I'm like, GG, go next. It's over. And then I'm like, all right. And then I try like raising my shield and blocking them, and then they're on watch, and like I can't do anything. Ah, that's unfortunate. Though that was a great try by Slout trying to get those flanks in by the Queen's Knight. It just didn't seem like the flank was enough to go through all of Copper Collectors. It was just too spread out of a fight, which Queens love a spread out fight, but it just didn't seem like they were able to get enough damage in there. Units count still very high. We're both 1,000 versus 1,000, so both sides have lots of units left for this home point. And with 6 minutes remaining for the home point, I mean, getting 6 minutes for 1,000 units, this isn't going to end with quite a bit of units left on both sides, especially since Copper Collectors looks like they are taking their time. They do have 14 pieces of artillery, 6 trebs left, so they have plenty of time. Well, not really plenty of time. They got 2 minutes to set up an artillery phase and then start doing a push. I think the AZEPs are coming back.
Yeah, the AZEPs basically carrying your breaks right now. And I have to step in again a little bit. So people have to embark on my yapping. You see the muskets dealing a lot of damage there, just throwing all hands they have, all bombs they have inside of this. We see some good
Iron Cap archers there. Iron Cap archers trying to do explosive arrows. That hit like the entire hillside, not very focused on their firing. Unfortunately, they were not trained very well on word aim or accuracy. I'm sure one of them hit the C point as well. Someone's got to give them the Royal Longbow lessons, and they'll figure it out. There we go. That's a more concentrated fire. They got some lessons from the Royal Longbows there. As we go into this, Copper is being very aggressive here. Already having Queens very far forward. And the shields are walking forward. It looks like they will be going on top of the hillside. The explosive arrows going across the entire map. Again, not focusing their fire. As CC goes on top of the hill and on the bottom of the hill. Double Slaughter Silence comes out, gets a good chunk of the Slav forces silence. The Queens from Copper Collectors on the top of the hill, unfortunately hitting the barrier, trying to hit down, and they're just hitting a bunch of planks of wood instead, not getting the damage that they would like to be getting. It does look like Copper Collectors is kind of at a standstill. They are making slow progress here, slowly walking through. The Phalanx doing great damage. I saw a Phalanx charge there. Brace 1-1V. Flames from Slab going in, doing wonderful damage, but immediately got dove in by Copper Collectors. The Flames were not able to get all these Phalanx out of the way. As now Slab has the shields that are trying to hold on, but now Copper Collectors has broken through, and they will be sending the Dagger Axe slashers going through. The Phalanx from CC are blocking any of the cap from Slab coming in. The AZEPs are coming back.
AZEPs are coming back. Oh no, they're taking over the thing. We have CC now going directly for NCAP. I think it's looking really, really good for them. It's going to be a lot of cuff, but they're already having the anti-cuff being placed there. So all the infantry jumping now for the point is going to be a little bit too late. Anti-cuff being placed, mainstairs already being blocked, small hallway or main hallway for cavalries now being covered really, really good as well. There's a trap coming through. NCAP is getting captured slowly. One glaive is now jumping onto the point. Slab is getting some heroes here, but also losing some units there, and still the setup is really good. Mainstairs are looking a little bit desperate right now, but they are also fine. The Kokos can easily throw in and deal the damage there over time, so should be fine. And also Slab wasting too many units here. Even if they pull another units, they're just waiting in. You can see them sticking on the top right. I think it's different here. You can see it plopping down all the units count that 300 units for them left. CC still strong with 600, but right now Slab is having a hold on the NCAP again, but there the good old CC units are returning to it, and it looks like they're gonna get NCAP here with the last push still being kept there.
Slab is holding strong here. They're bringing as many units as trying to stall out. There's only 2 minutes remaining, but with 12 heroes and less than 200 units, Kudalier charge going straight through. Does get stopped by the Model, but we'll clean out the rest of those Wuxine pikemen as Copper Collectors now brings in even more stalwarts. The time is ticking. The home is 3/4 cap, so they only need a little bit of time here. Slap going down to 7 heroes left. The Kudaliers are just cross-charging across this home point, getting great damage into their Slap getting those Iron Cap Archers getting a good volley, and the Kudaliers coming right back through, clear the rest of it. Slap does not have a single hero. The Bastard Sword's trying to get back onto the point. Almost captured. Bastard Sword on the point, stalling on as long as he can, but will not be enough, as Copper Collectors will be winning on the good old Halen Fjord. As we go into our MVPs here, a little bit of our disorganized MVP, but Copper Collectors Fiat 500 as our MVP, 179 unit kills. Great job by him. And then we have Slap Shimi with 163 unit kills. Definitely doing great work with that musket, getting that 1 million damage. Great job by them. Good try by Slap holding there. Just needed a little bit more time. Probably would have been able to hold strong. Very close. But unfortunately, I mean, just looking at the hero kills just by this screen here, it doesn't look like Slap was able to kill a lot of the heroes where you see Copper Collectors. You see many of them with 4 or 5 hero kills. They were just hero killing machines out there. And a lot of Copper Collectors also on 0 deaths. A few of them on their last life, but a lot of them are on their first life. So they just played these hero fights a lot better as we go into this chart of charts. Whose Slap is blue. As we can see here. It's not blue. I always forget the sides. Oh,
CC was attacking here and Slap was defending, right?
CC's red. Okay, CC's red.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, as you can see by this first engagement, at that A-B point, Copper Collectors did lose a few more units, but they got that A-B point. So even though they lost at that first engagement there, the second and third engagement, you can tell by these gaps, second engagement is like decently close, but that third engagement and that home point, it's not even a little bit close. That's such a massive gap of unit deaths that Slap was just not able to hold. They were just hemorrhaging too many units. They were just unable to hold through the almighty wrath of Copper Collectors.
And we are back at our faces. I'm sweating my balls off. It's getting like my PC is heating it up. I can't open the window or my neighbors are gonna be like, what the fuck you're talking about? And so I have to sit here and endure the heat of my PC.
Yes, but that was a very good fight by Copper Collectors and Slap there. Definitely Copper Collectors did that mind game at that A and B point, really determined how these fights were going, seeing that they were able to really determine, and it's what you want as an attacker, right? You want to be able to decide where we are fighting. It's kind of your role as the attacker. You don't want the defender to decide because you always want to be on the advantage. And we saw Copper Collectors did a really good job deciding where these fights were happening. We fought, they split the A and B points so that Slap wasn't able to do a full force there, really confused them. And then at the C point area, Copper Collectors was able to push forward and then spread it out. Those Azaps, actually, besides the ones that are in my house attacking me, the Azaps did wonderful work dealing with the Queen's Knights. I was actually very surprised that Azaps were able to hold against the Queen's Knights, do their counterattack, and kill the Queen's Knights. Maybe they just had the just a little bit more tankiness to be able to hold through the Queen's Knight burst. Doesn't really seem like a thing, but it worked for them. So something's happening here. But Azaps always are at that weird spot where they're good, they're bad, but they're situational, right? The situation called for it, and they did great. They're just the back, sometimes they're the front, sometimes on the side. They're a 1v1 unit, so going against the Queen's Knight, they're both the 1v1 units, and it seemed like the Azaps won this time. Very good job by them. On that home point, I mean, it was just a roll through. It definitely looked a little bit rough for Copper Collectors going from the two-prong attack, going from that hill and then the lower side. It did look like their queens were hitting the wood, so they were not able to do as much as they wanted. It took them a little bit longer to push through than they would like, which made Slap have a little bit of extra time to be able to get there. But Slap brought those flames in, and the flames were immediately dove. They didn't have any protection left, and by that point, it became just a massive all-out brawl. Units being thrown everywhere, and when you're in that kind of panic, I feel like it favors the attackers more on Heilong Fjord. They have a little bit closer of a supply. They have a way easier time getting a cav charge in. And let's see if part of the cav from Complex just got in, did wonderful things, and Slap was just unable to recover from the panic that they had.
A lot going on for me on the background as well. I'm waiting now for the swap, both sides.
Okay.
So,
all right. Yeah.
Having CC now defend, not attacking, which I'm also like a little bit curious about seeing them how they execute it, because this match was already a little bit more interesting. I loved the beginning where they set up from so many different angles, and Slap was like, what I'm supposed to do right now, where should I defend? And I really loved this. You could really see how it was like working inside of their heads and being like, what is the best solution we can do for this, ending them up in the worst one, and then running just for some units there, which ended up good for a little bit of trade, but they still lost A and B, which is crucial to the map. Usually you win as a defender on A and B, most of the time, I argue.
It seemed like it very much confused the caller of Slap of, oh, what are we gonna do here? I mean, what can you really do? Like, you see there's 6 people at A, there's 9 people at B, so you're like, oh, we should go kill the small force at A. But then the small force at A retreated. We don't want to chase that. Okay, let's go back to B. Oh, we already lost B. It was a lose-lose situation.
You could see most of the people already running to B, and then some guys turned their back around to A and be like, wait a minute, guys, now they're pushing up. Shouldn't we be like, and they'll be like, no, okay, no.
Should I not push them? Just confused Slap a little bit too much, which really worked out for Copper Collectors. So I'm very interested to see how Copper Collectors will be defending this point. Let's see if Slap has the same kind of mind games going into this. It's definitely something that you have to practice, so I don't know if Slap has been practicing their mind games on the Heilong Fjord. What? I mean, we could see it, or we could be seeing a traditional, just kind of A push work. Let's go through A gate. Oh, they're defending A gate. We'll go through A breach, and we'll just push it that way, and that will be fine. Especially deciding,
have to write now the other teams going on.
No. Very interested to see. I'm also wondering if they're going to be bringing any other units. We did see those Azeps be brought in by Copper Collectors, so I wonder if they will be bringing in any other.
The
Azeps.
What are they constructing for you? Siege engines.
It's like siege engines.
The classic
siege towers specifically.
Siege towers. Oh, the great big ones. Jesus.
Yes,
the ones with the ladder where you can
big...
climb on top, or without the ladder? The basic ones.
You see, I want them to make the one with the ladder on top. So I think that siege tower is way better. But they keep telling me it's going to cost like another few days of going resource collecting in the open world, and I can't get them to go get resource collections, man. They're just like, we could work with what's on hand to get you like a basic tower, or you could go to the open world and collect some wood. And I'm like, no, I'll just go with regular wood. It's fine. It's fine. So I unfortunately don't get a ladder, so all my longbow players are, they won't have a spot to stand on. I shoot at them enemies, which sucks, but what can you do? All I got is a bunch of level 1 wood around me. If I want a level 4 lumbering camp, I have to go quite a bit of ways away. The rare resources are it's just too much, man.
And there are already some guys outside there and be like, come out. We're not going to catch you outside. Nobody's fearing here. Nobody would do such a thing. You can gather your stuff. We're going to leave you alone. And then we share politely.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, I see a few bandits out there, and I'm like, I don't really have the units to hold in, and the ASAPs are already mad at me for not having all the resources, so...
Is it rainy outside? I think I should go outside. It's not looking too good. Nobody's calling me coward. I'm just afraid of the rain. It's not for me.
It's raining, so the cav is slower.
Yeah.
At least in Three Kingdoms, it's slower. It might not be in here, but in Three Kingdoms, the cav is slower. So, like, I'm okay with the rain. I'll bring some pikemen, and we'll be okay. But if it's a sunny day, I don't know, man. That's very risky. The bandits really love it when it's sunny. If the cav starts swarming me, I can't really do much about it. I got my pike militia, and we're trying our best. It's just sometimes not enough.
Same for CBF. If we go into the winter where the snow is coming and everybody's like, now it takes ages to go from A to B. Jesus. And then you play TW and be like, push faster. And now we are inside of the game. We managed to get through with it.
Let's see if there's any. I do see Copper Collector still bringing those ASAPs. Only bringing 2 this time, not 3. So a little bit different here. I do see by Slap here 2 Shenjis, a Flame. Not too much special. Neither side is bringing that crazy a specialty. See double Shenji on the Copper Collector side as well. Once again, I mean, this Queen's being brought by dang near every singular person. It's just such a strong unit that it's very hard to not bring Queen's Knights into here. So
they're so good in the stabby. We are waiting for PTR to go live. Should be next week. We're not gonna see it in CBL, sadly, because CBL is on a fixed patch this year. So we're not gonna, or team captains are not exposed to many changes again, which are happening right now with the hero classes being changed, with the units being changed a lot, and therefore it's usually very hard for them to adapt to it, because it's taking so much time. Most of them are also working, so really bad. And right now we're playing on a fixed gate setup, but next week there should be the PTR coming out for you guys to look into the good old changes for them, and then people can give their opinion to the PTR and be like, you should maybe nerf them a little bit more, or even be like, nah, that's too hard, now they're not unplayable, please get them a little bit more of this. And
yes, I also agree that they should buff Crescent Monks. Exactly what he said about Crescent Monks. Buff that unit. It does look like Slap is going to be doing a traditional A push here. We will not be seeing the mind games that Copper Collectors performed with their attack. Slap doing a more traditional A push. See, it's like a classic.
A classic.
Trip coming in already. I don't think that will get much. We'll see if Copper Collector's numbers go down from 17, 16. It caught 1 model of something. I don't know what guy died to that trip, but 1 dude died.
I would do it again. 14 times.
14 times a 1 unit model kill.
If
Big,
it's just
huge
flames,
value.
Huge success.
Yeah.
Good deal. Damn good deal. You know this meme from Inglorious Sword? Don't want to say the word, but in the movie.
It's... Oh.
Good deal.
It sounds familiar.
Deal.
It sounds familiar, and I probably know it, but it's not ringing a bell right now.
Memes. So for me, every time I hear a word, something familiar or similar to a meme, my head is gonna jump immediately to the meme.
Right. That's good. I do see 2 queens from Slap at B, so they are doing a little bit of split push over there. So they have 2 people over there, doing a little bit of split. But you may drag over.
And you're getting flanked by the ASAPs again. Red team, good old Slap, now sitting a little bit on top, still looking for an angle there, looking for the gaps inside of the defense. 5 minutes on Heilung Fjord. Basically, I would argue around not taking too much time. So they can, oh, I can hear the ASAPs going for the tooth of you. We maybe need to say we have the first fight of Slap versus CC. And there's ASAPs versus Queen's Guard there. ASAPs blocking the Queen's Guard and the other Queen's Guard stepping them from behind. But still, the Queen's Guard did a decent amount of damage against 2 groups there. There's the main fight now happening on A. Great engagement. CC is looking like they're fully committing into the flames, I think I see, for Slap. But that's not stopping them. They're having a lot of healing archers there, getting around on the back. You see the Queen's Guard already jumping in there. Dual blade player, and CC is just looking so strong with their healing archers going for this fight there. Already getting the back retreat of the enemy troops, so they can't run away. They need to stay, come over here, basically putting them inside of a box and going, and they're dead. Really, really nice executed from CC, looking really strong here. Some Queen's Guard out there also dealing at least some moral damage. Slap is now rebuilding on supply, giving CC the time needed basically to set up another defense there. I think it's a little bit slow playing there, because 4 minutes for attackers is really, really gonna be hard. Even if the attackers are now on maybe their second death, it's gonna take way longer. So we might ending up here seeing a defense win for CC as well. It's looking at least really good for them right now for the time, because 4 minutes is not that much time. Slap really needs to push the pedal there to the floor to try to run them down on A and get a hold to this match again. But they're giving so much time to CC that even CC now can commit on Artie. They're still having 8 left. I think if they're fully utilizing this to defend A and just postponing it for a couple of seconds, or maybe even pressure Slap into rotating, that's gonna end up even in a better situation. Slap seems to be very frightened to go in, which is costing them a huge amount of time, and now they're rotating for the breach at least. The breach rotation, they're letting their units still outside. There's one trap coming, immediately landing there. Not getting the Artie. That must hurt. Now they're pushing in their units. They're looking at the clock and being like, oh boys, it's time. And they're going up the wall. Oh my god. Not even pushing right now. So if you waste another minute, you're gonna be on 1 minute 40. Then even the time is gonna be red and being like, guys, you should be pushing. Now, first guy is going in here a little bit too fast in my opinion. He's tanking already for nobody to deal damage. And then we have the setup here going. The Changi's already thrown for 1 unit, which is not optimal, but the defender Changi's throw was way better into a way bigger blob. It must be more damage. Cavalry going really, really strong here. And CC is slowly putting in their unit. They're not even jumping that much with heroes right now. And I think a lot of them gonna return and take another set of units there just to postpone, because they're knowing if they lose, even if they lose the fight, they can win by time, but they're not even losing the fight. They're even fighting. You can see the stalwarts, they're sitting there because nobody's there to control them anymore. But they're re-pulling a new set of units and then going again. But they had the fight in the first go. They should have just stick there to it and 5 with it. Which is now a little bit harder, but they still, the cuff is coming. This is the new, or the, not new, but the good old household cavalry going there. 1 minute 40, we see the red timer now. A lot of cuff is coming, Queen's Guard are coming. It's gonna be a really hard push there on the point, but a lot of heroes already being dead. They really delayed this fight and pulled a new set of units, which was not intercepted. So this is going to be a good round for CC. Copper Collectors here, really, really well played. Also, like, I love to see like they set up the units. But oh no, fight is looking really good now. But 1 minute, it's 40 seconds getting the point. I think there's no point of them winning it anymore. We can make it sound like it's very good fight right now, still going, being like, CC is pushing them even out now. I think I can see some some Simachi looking in the wrong direction. The cuff is going really good inside of there. And still, this was just a bug of the shield. It's turning red. On the top we can see a dual blade hunting somebody down. Heroes are all dead. So that's gonna be a GG for CC. And therefore winning the whole matchup with 2 rounds for them. 2-0. Very, very solid defense in my opinion. 900 units still up. In general, Slab really took their time to push there. I guess that's because they're like being aware that the enemy is really, really strong and taking their time, but being afraid on Heilung Fjord usually just ends you in a very, very bad situation, and then just pushing under time pressure is not making it better for your team. Usually take a little bit of room and look and get these pushes going. Really, really well executed for CC. We got some good plays here on both sides, in my opinion. Slap Benny game being the MVP of Slap, 2 hero kills, 1 death, 4 assists. Overall pretty good or solid for the attack there. On the other side we have CC Jijo having 120 unit kills, really good, 2 deaths and 6 assists, so playing really well there. Love to see it. We're gonna see each other in like 10 minutes again, or like 15 minutes right before the next matchup, which we can have a look at. So you're gonna see which is the next matchup. And then we go into it. We're gonna look into Furious maybe having his tower finished, or I don't think it's gonna be finished, but maybe he's big.
I don't think my tower is going to be finished for a long time, but I have a little bit of a break now, so I can talk about what happened there. I did enjoy how the Slap thought about doing a flank there, but it seemed like when they tried to do the flank, they're like, I don't know where to go. So they just kind of went right back to their main blob. They just really didn't do that split that Copper Collectors was doing. And when you're just fighting as one big blob against one big blob, it does quite favor the blob that's already set up and can like just push into you. So Copper Collectors was able to, it was already set up. They didn't really mind getting pushed into, and they had the units to deal with this. And Slab just didn't have the they just didn't have the plan, the punch, yes, the strength, the power to go through Copper at the setup. They weren't able to, and especially on Heilung Fjord, you don't have the time to really do these setups. You have to be really fast, and Slap just didn't do any splits. They just said, we're going to go as a main blob. We think we could beat you 15v15 head on, and I mean, they just got ran over. They couldn't win a single one of those fights. And when you can't win a fight 15v15, you gotta find flanks, do some splits, and they just didn't go for these splits. So they just weren't able to win up. I saw some amazing plays by Copper Collectors with their specialty. I saw a lot of their shoots a dinger and their other kind of specialty. Really, the shoots a dinger, a really well-timed shoots a dinger heals to the point where it won the fights, really. So it's very hard for Slap to win when you're going against someone with that great of specialty play. And
right, our face cam's a little bit buggy right now, so we're gonna go in a little bit of a break, and then we come back in like 10 minutes, and we maybe have fixed it until then. So see you guys until 10 minutes. Bye bye. Hello, and we are back at it again. Me and the good old Furious D, and his good old ASAPs working on the tower behind him. And we're heading in the next matchup. So Furious, would you show us the pick and bans and explain them a little bit to us?
Yes, I would love to go over the pick and bans once they are brought up here. We'll be going on LYNX Castle. This is a new map, well, a newer map. This will be, I believe, the first time it is shown in the competitive scene. So these strats could be quite literally anything. I'm very excited to see exactly how that will be played. But for our bans, we will be having Lion War, Psychalian Militia, Sifanori, Davosnader, Queen's Knights, and Shenji Grenadiers, along with Spartans and Claymores saved. So a lot of these high damaging units, those Lion Roar, the Sifanori, the Shenji, the Queens, are out of this rotation. A lot of the specialty is gone. So this will be a more infantry focus. Of all the anti-cap is available, and more importantly, both of the gold tower shields are available for LYNX Castle. This could be a very heavy, slow fight here, especially considering all the damaging units are really out of the pool. So teams are going to have to be doing their damage with infantry or getting a very good cav charge in. But none of the anti-cav was banned, so I think this will be a lot more of who can play their infantry better here, especially on LYNX Castle. LYNX is really only has one point where cav can't go to, so it's a lot more of an open map and has a lot of breaches, a lot of openings. I'm just very excited to see what the teams will be doing here, just because this is the first time we've seen it in competitive. So it's very excited to see what teams will go out. Are we going to see an immediate, I believe A is on the ground. No. Yeah, I believe A is on the ground. Yeah, A's. Oh, I haven't played it in forever. I think A is on the ground and B is on the wall. So I'm curious to see if they will be going to the A breach and going through A that way, or if they will wait for towers to land and then go on to the wall and get the B point and then push down to that B supply area. But
Whatever.
it could be anyway.
How do you think I don't know. Here? I never saw it for them, so I'm not remembering them playing on it, so I can't judge how they're gonna execute it.
Right.
And going on to it. It's gonna be a nice match to watch, at least. I hope so, based on the
right
map being picked.
Yes. I mean, this is I don't think any team has really practiced on this map. I mean, obviously these two teams have practiced because it's the map they chose, but
we hope they
I would hope they practiced on it. Yeah.
Maybe they're just free-balling it and they'd be like, oh, our team is called the Labyrinth, so we're gonna just be like, it's a maze. You're gonna be lost anyway.
Yeah, nobody knows what's happening. I don't even know what's happening.
You don't know what the endpoint is? Oh, we know. We neither.
Yeah. So, I mean, from what I've played on this on Sieges, excuse me, the A and B point, you could kind of just hold that A and B point area, but once you lose one, yeah, it's hard to say, because like when I played Sieges, if you could give up the wall as long as you hold that supply down there, and you could just hold like that wall side supply and C and kind of fight in the middle there, because they have to get C to progress to the next stage. So if you just defend that C, but that C is very open, it's just a field battle at that point. So it's not as good for chokes and getting like a good lines in there. So really, do you want to lose either your A and B point? You're very spread out then if you just hold both of them. So maybe you just hold the wall point, the B point there, and C, so you give up your field battle section and instead hold the wall and C point. Or maybe you go and maybe you just go all the way back. Maybe you go straight to home and defend the home and the little auxiliary point that's right next to home. I don't know. Go either way, and that's very excited to me to see how these teams will prepare and fight over these points and over this battle in general.
Yes, sir.
As we go into this TL versus LYNX, I do see a tiger and leopard cav. Two people are bringing it. No, actually, LYNX is favoring this tiger leopard cav. I see quite a few of them being brought by them. Got a new unit. I'm also seeing zealots be brought in. I do enjoy the zealots being brought in. Zealots are very good into those shielded units, very heavy shield, and with both of the gold shields being available, it makes sense to be bringing the zealots. But looking at the TL side, there isn't that many shields by them. There looks like there's two Spartans there, some stalwarts, and some ISG, but it's looking like they're going to be doing very light on their shields. So these zealots aren't going to gain the value they would like. Zealots very good into shields. They're okay versus the other units, but they definitely prefer hitting those shielded units.
So just based on the draft, we can also really see one team having outpicked a little bit by unit draft the other. And now we're gonna see a new cinematic to a new map, to the map whip. Which I like this map. It has a little bit different tweaks. Doesn't feel like the others. It's a little bit more of an also open but also enclosed spaces inside, and it's feeling like a really big battlefield inside of a castle, which I really enjoy.
It is a very open map, especially this C point that's on the ground that we see here. That is so open, and you can really fight everywhere alongside of it. And this is our home auxiliary point that opens a breach after you take it. I mean, it does have a lot of options. It feels more like a field battle with how open it is. This home area here, a little bit more enclosed, so it's not as crazy. But as we go into LYNX, as CBL, TL on the attack, LYNX on the defense. See exactly how it looks like they're going to do. It does look like TL will be going towards that A side, and I was correct. The A is on the floor. Yes! All right, sorry. Got excited there. I'm very impressed I remember that. I haven't played this map in a while. It does look like they will be going to the A breach. So taking that breach down and then going through there. Trebs cannot hit that area, so it is a little risky to be going through the breach, but especially since that breach has a lot of upper wall that the defenders can be placing, their ranged units on top of, if they had any.
Going there also like you're really open to all the muskets again, which can risk you sitting up in a situation. You can also already see all the burning on the ground there.
So does look like instead TL is going to go this more normal route. They broke the breach for funsies. They will be going this more normal route for them in front of that A area. Will they be going just baiting at A and then going to B, or will they be pushing in through here? Only time will tell. They're all grouped up. Doesn't look like they're placing any artillery. They do have a musket on the wall, but he's doing great damage into there. It does look like TL will be pushing in through to this A point area, fighting in front of A as the shields collide. Let's see how this engagement goes in. Both sides have a lot of infantry here. Doesn't look like any of them have any range support, so this will just be melee versus melee. Who has the better melee? The berserkers from LYNX going into the side of TL. Looks like they will be doing some great cleaving here. It does look like the front line of LYNX is falling back, letting the flank going in. LYNX getting rat hot pikes into the back of TL. They're going to be doing heavy damage into them. It does look like TL will be very quickly folding here. They just were not able to hold at all. The rats going to their back line, the berserkers going to the side. This cleanly goes through it. There's a lot of rats by LYNX.
That was a totally draft and pick difference. Seeing there, LYNX was so ready with all their Rattans against all the shields and slow pushing units, like them having Iron Reapers and a lot of shields, which are both weak to Rattan Pikemen. and so many Rattan pikemen being picked by the defender, there was a default win for them basically. They invested less in or leadership for this fight right now, and even ended up winning it because of the better draft there, which was so you could even witness it slowly happening. They're getting some ground which you saw coming for the attackers, but they ended up then just losing the overall fight to the poison damage or the bleed over time, basically, which you should have seen as an attacker on the map already, that you got outpicked there, not pushing into it with the setup, or at least having more muskets on top to deal all the fire damage to counter this setup.
And now we have a little bit more of an engage over here. Tiger Leopard Cav going in, does wonderful things. The Yans from TL doing amazing cleave damage, but there's really nothing for them to cleave into. Yans from TL go in again, clearing out some of the stalwarts that walked a little bit too far forward. It looks like it's just a little bit of a mosh pit, a little bit dispersed here, not knowing where exactly to go. LYNX kind of stuck on that A point now, finally pushing off of the A into this little corridor. And it doesn't look like TL is just trying to hold there. They're not pushing, they're just trying to stall as long as possible, but they will be quickly ran over. That Spartan walk going through, absorbing all the damage by the Phalanx. And it takes a little bit of time here, getting stalled by those, looks like those Berserkers. Does look like TL was able to pull for that back supply, gets a Spartan walk into the back of LYNX here. Actually, TL doing a good flank here. Will they cleaning a lot of LYNX's units in here? It'll be very hard. Tiger Leopard Cav coming in, gets a decent charge, but the Modao will brace and catch a lot of them here. So the fight rages on. TL actually coming out ahead in here, and LYNX really nowhere to be seen as TL now clears it up, but B and A still not being captured. The A cap is now being had here. LYNX on the defensive here, walking back on their supply. The Zealots will be caught out. A little bit of the Cap's getting caught out as well. Berserkers trying to hold their own against the Cap. You know, as long as the Cap is in charge, the Berserkers love running into them. They will clean up the rest of the Cav there. Fighting going on here. A around half capture. Does look like LYNX is going to be defending that C point area though, instead, realizing that, hey, maybe we don't want to be defending that A area.
They just keep on sending from the LYNX side.
Tiger and Leopard Cav going in really into nothing. I don't know what it's going into. Kind of a little bit of a waste from LYNX there. I don't think they really knew how to use the Cav, but that's okay.
No, that's okay if you don't know.
That's okay if you don't know how to use it. It's just, you know, it's just a major tournament.
I just press buttons and something happens. Some fancy numbers plopping up. That's all I need to see.
Yeah, I saw my Tiger Leopard Cav jump and walk forward. There was no units when they jumped, so a little bit confusing. White Plume holding strong against the Yan and the Kuda leaders. Does look like those White Plume did go down pretty quickly. Unfortunately, could not hold their own against the Yans, as the Yans having the email as well. Sorry, I'm going confused here.
That's okay. On the ASAPs in the back, we see TL
yeah, the ASAPs
a little bit. They're stancing in the nothing, but charge coming through. Still sitting there a little bit, covering nothing. LYNX getting a lot of ground, winning this fight easily here, and still wiping the floor with the remaining units. They're not even thinking about running. Musket is too much zoomed in, I guess, because devs didn't give them the POV they asked for. Now they're getting B, they're up there. Having to fight on the supply block. I think the short sword there is doing Gert's work and blocking 5 people there on supply, not getting any units, only some Modaos being left. So if they go now on top of this, this is going to be devastating for them, because it's 5 heroes getting killed or at least blocked for attackers. That's really, really bad, because now they're either retreating all the way, which on CBL makes more sense. In a normal battle they could just have died there and go for the respawn. But now they have to run out, which is taking them another 40 seconds or 50 seconds to set up, I guess. And they still need to go back to C for the open field battle there. So now they have to wait a long time for the team members to get all the units back to the front line, or even set up any sort of push there, which is really, really great for the defenders. The good old time game. Put your eyes on the clock. And it's not the shoot one, it's the time one. Or maybe on the hourglass. Is hourglass even a word with the sand inside? It is, right? Ah, okay, got it. The ASAPs are already taking over again the stream for Furious, so I'm left alone yapping to myself and asking myself, maybe somebody with 3-minute delay can answer me the question of hourglass. Should be your English term, right?
A little distracted there. Some ASAPs, maybe even some berserkers got to me. All right, what was the question? I'm getting a little bit swarmed here, but it's okay.
I asked if hourglass is an English term for the for time measurement, right?
Yeah, I guess you could use an hourglass for time measurement. I don't think many people would be using an hourglass, but
we are in the right time for it, I guess. But I was talking about looking on the clock, and then I was like, nah, maybe on the hourglass, making more sense here.
Yes, I too have an hourglass, and I look at my hourglass whenever I need to tell time, and I flip it every hour. I make sure to flip it. And I look at the sand, and I'm like, yes.
No,
the sand is about 3/4 capped. Where it's about like, 45 minutes. All right, we're good. Gotta flip that soon.
That should be an hour. Let's turn it around.
I'll show you hours. LYNX pushing forward here, getting in some of the artillery down. Look, having a musket already up there. Getting that TL artillery down. That musket did fall. Will he be able to escape? It actually is able to escape. Went into the middle of all of TL. Lives to tell the tale. Runs all the way back to his friends.
Hey boys, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. They let me
You wouldn't believe this. They let me out. And this is kind of how I thought this battle would be going, where A and B is captured, and instead the defenders are holding this C point area. It's just as you can see, it's incredibly open here, and it's very hard to make a choke point. It really promotes those flanks and those high mobility kind of plays here. But it doesn't look like TL is going to be doing any of that. They're rotating around closer towards the wall. Very interesting here. Only 2.5 minutes, so they gotta start making a play soon here. They went far away, maybe to bait LYNX to walk towards them, but LYNX just kind of holding still, like, you guys have to come to us. We're not coming to you. And it just seems like TL is taking a little bit too much time here to get to the
good old
C point.
When the clock goes, or when the hourglass gets red, they start running.
Yeah, when there's only a few grains of sand left. We're gonna start pushing.
If they turn red, it's now the time you have to push. People tend to be like, right, there's a timer. See, it's getting red. Now you see people a little bit more hectically moving, be like, Jesus guys, the sand turned red. Let's go.
Sand has turned red. Now there is 4 lanes of attack for the attackers here, so they could go anywhere, but it looks like they're really only using 1 lane of attack. Looks like one guy maybe figured out that there's multiple lanes going far around as they now finally push in, but there's only 1.5 minutes left. The Serfs are leading the charge. Actually, those were Martello are leading the charge. Spartan's also going in a little bit off to the side there as we're a little bit dispersed here. Cav charging in. Looks like the Tiger Cav will be going straight through. Kudalier is going through as well. By the time TL going through LYNX as the Cav goes sweeping back and forth. However, TL, their inventory's gone. They just got wiped very quickly here. There's still 1 minute left, but there's nobody here. This fight was over before it started.
Can go like this, turn around your hourglass, and it already was finished.
They spent all this time to do this attack, but they got wiped so quickly that maybe they should have taken a little bit longer.
I should have known, because it's Sonia's hourglass from another game, as many of you know. I already guessed. Now I remember.
Sonia's
if you press this one, you
thing.
can stop the time. And this would be actually helpful to see how fast they got wiped. Very nice fight for LYNX here, and now they're still with almost 800 units left. TL only having 300, so even when this would go on for 10 minutes, they would have won it. I think, but it was already like one on the draft, in my opinion. The first fight, very, very, very strong. Not talk even on unit models, but just by draft. Being so heavily countered by your draft and then pushing with Iron Reaper in shields into Rattan Pikeman is a doomed cause.
Yes, it just seemed like LYNX did an amazing job countering everything that TL did, which is just an amazing job by LYNX here. As we go into our MVPs on TL side, Nasu Nightmare, 102 unit kills, 3 hero kills, doing a great job. Muskets, always at top, get that good old stat pad of musket farm. And then LYNX, Pressure, MVP. No hero kills, but 110 unit kills. 886,000 player damage. So we go to our charts. The other numbers are fine. As we can see here, now I didn't remember the colors.
Red is
go back to
attack.
Red is TL. Red is attack. Red is TL. Because you can see by these pushes, that first push by TL went pretty rough. You can see how they kind of brought it back a little bit after that first engagement where they fought. I believe that was near the A side, that little alleyway. They brought it back a little bit. Yeah, it was near the little alleyway there. So they got some hero kills, some unit kills, but after that, they just could not kill anything. These fights were so decisively in favor of Snap that TL just unfortunately could not. Was this Snap? Am I getting names wrong?
You're getting the names wrong.
LYNX. So in favor of LYNX that
it's getting hard. The AZ in your bag. It's okay. Don't get frustrated. You're talking 4 hours straight, so there's gonna be some random yapping or words being lost, and we started good. And normally I'm the one saying something wrong and then have to roll back on my own words inside the stream, so don't feel bad.
But you can see here, LYNX just did a wonderful job. They won these engagements so handedly. Yeah, they had a little bit bump there in that alleyway, but they brought it back. And the engagements were so well played by LYNX that unfortunately TL was unable to bring it back into their favor. The first game will be going to LYNX. Wonderful plays by LYNX there. But now we get to swap sides. And we're going to see how LYNX attacks Allenwood Castle.
I hope they have another setup for the defenders. I hope they don't play almost with the same units, or otherwise they're going to just lose again by draft.
Yeah, or hopefully TL realizes, hey, this setup didn't work. But I know a lot of teams, even if their setup just failed, they don't swap their units. They're like, well, get them this time.
I think it was the hourglass which screwed us over.
So, maybe on defense, maybe this is a defender-sided map. And now TL is going to very easily beat LYNX. And we're going to see a wonderful tiebreaker going to the grasslands. That would be wonderful to see, but I don't know. That engagement went pretty one-sided. So we'll see if this grassland is even a possibility when LYNX gets their attack. And maybe we'll see something different. Maybe they will go to the B point on the wall and push down from there and go to that supply. I think pushing from there, getting that C point is a lot easier when you have the supply right there, rather than going from where TL decided to do their push at that A side. So we'll see exactly how LYNX performs, what their decision is for attacking this map.
I see. Like I said, my hopes are high on them just looking into bringing another set of units for defense. But usually you have a different setup for defense than you have for attack. But sometimes you see some teams captains doing both on both, which may be working out or I'm not aware of, but for me, from outside, it sometimes looks just like, let's do the same thing, it should work. And then I'd be like, this time you should be aware. You got already slapped once. Keep it friendly, but with the team names, which were not part of this game, but just bringing the pun back.
Yeah, they got slapped, but not by slap.
Slapped. Cheeky, cheeky.
And then they got. So they got lynxed.
Lynxed.
I can't really do so.
You can get jinxed, which.
Yeah, they got jinxed. Bam.
Oh.
Yeah, that's.
So going for getting lynxed, or should be. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Should be going into this shortly. Fortunately, I don't really have much more to say about this engagement.
We can bet between each other. Huh? They're gonna do the same setup, or you think like, nah, they're not gonna do it.
I think we're going to see a very similar setup. I don't think we're going to see changes. I feel like a lot of teams don't change, and they're just like, this is our setup.
Okay, we said,
and we're done.
Yeah.
Oh, we just
if you
gotta
have a good plan. You don't need a second plan because it's supposed to work in the first place.
Right. We just got wiped with our setup. Well, play better this time.
play better this time.
Just play better, and it will work. You could do. Maybe some of you could swap to Wuxing Pikemen. Those rats were a little bit much, but I don't want to see many of you change. I don't want to see more than two more. Two of you could swap to a Wuxing.
But the same thing is gonna apply. They also not only had the Rattan Pikemen, but they also had the Zealots. So.
Right. Zealots.
There was 2 available unit setups for the enemy, which were picked a lot, which are basically countering your shield setup. So some special units would be very nice to see.
Yes, but I believe in these bans, most of the specials were banned. So
yeah, but still, then you go for fire archers or a little bit. So at least a little bit of one unit of them maybe, and then you can counter the whole setup of Rattan Pikemen getting lost in words.
Yes. You know what? That's it. We need to bring back Nomgons. That'll be the answer.
No,
bring
I
back
don't
some
want
Nomgons.
Going TW and you're trying to kick the ladders and you're just dying to poison damage is the worst way to go. But we have the units now.
We go into this. It's on the attack. LYNX looks very similar to how their defense looked. They still have some of those zealots. Still have some of the tiger leopard cav. I do see some Order of the Dragon by LYNX. I see 2 units of it.
I call them overview cav. Because you
cav.
get in the overview and then you just.
I call it some Wi-Fi cav, Bluetooth cav, overview cav. Anything you really want to call it.
Like
TL.
Coco's.
Yeah, Coco Zykes, Ball Boys, that's many names.
Get the boys out.
Get the boys out. Get the boys in blue out.
Jesus. Good wording. Nice one.
As we go in, I'm seeing quite a few more shields be brought in by TL this time. I mean, these teams look fairly similar comp-wise. Kind of hard to see if there's any difference in there.
We're gonna see it on the first draft again. If it's gonna be Reapers and Shields again, I leave the stream. I go somewhere else. No, I can't. Maybe you can look into some punishment for the players. Make them attack in ranked Harbor City 5 times in a row.
Run Harbor City. We're not on the harbor of cities. We are on the LYNX vessels. We'll see how LYNX does their attack here.
Nice cage.
As we
nice
go through
wording.
our cutscene. Once again.
Yeah, they are made by our good old cameraman right now, the good old Crystal. Very nice guy. A little bit shy, but usually doing all the art assets here. So most of our tournaments wouldn't be the same if we didn't have this guy doing all the work behind it. And not even wanting to take credit for it often, but I usually like to push it out so he gets a little bit annoyed with me, which is fine.
You better be careful. He's gonna start removing you from the cast.
That's
As
okay.
it does look like LYNX is going to be doing a little bit different than TL did. Instead of being a little bit more spread out through this battlefield, getting these towers pushed. I believe, judging by this positioning, they will be pushing up this left tower, this close tower here, and going through there, getting that B point, and potentially pushing down into that supply. I definitely think I prefer that kind of push over the A pushing that TL did before. But we'll see exactly how this plays out. Also, LYNX still breaking this A breach. I mean, I guess you might as well, right? It's a breach. You don't like it. It has a health bar. We don't like health bars around here. So, a breach goes down.
If it has a life, you kill it.
It has life, you kill it. So, we're breaking breach. Maybe they're going to use this as like a flank route. Maybe keep a few of their people over here, trying to keep TL split. That's
the
probably the
classic
plan of action
for me. When it's late in the night and you catch yourself screaming at your monitor playing ranked, and then as you were younger, mom steps into your room and then you see the boss fight health bar above her head, being like, "Shut the fuck up!" You'd be like, "Shit."
You hear a whip crack and you're like, "Oh no!"
The whip is wild. I usually just saw
maybe a belt crack.
Yeah,
maybe a belt crack, but like, you hear a whip crack, you're like, "Oh no!" You just hastily turn every light off, everything off. You make sure, like, you like put like coolers around, and you try to make sure the room's cool enough so that when they walk in, it's not like a difference in temperature. Like, all right, everything's in place. Hurry, hide.
You start rolling on the floor to dodge her attacks. But she's delaying them so you can't dodge.
She's doing feints and you're like, "Oh no," and you fall for every feint. It's over. Once again, towers have landed. Well, the right tower. That far tower has not landed yet, but it does look like LYNX will be going up to this close tower. And TL is fully prepped to meet them here. LYNX got some muskets here. A little bit of a split here. See how many times I say here.
It's okay.
Grape shots being placed by TL.
So hear and listen to what he's saying.
Yes, please hear from my ear. Hear from your ear. Does look like LYNX will not be pushing up this close tower. And instead, maybe favoring the far tower. It does have that little bit of elevation. So you could push down into it and get a little bit of a height advantage. You know?
I want to see a musket being named Obi-Wan and then sitting on top and being like, "I've got the high ground now. It's over."
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. And I mean,
you're just yapping around, just waiting for them to push right now. So trying to
TL
avoid
does
the
have the high
space.
ground.
They have.
See where LYNX goes. Does look like that. Are all rotating toward this tower?
Yeah, we're going for a push. Yeah, boy.
Doesn't look like we're doing any split. We are going to be full 15 versus 15 head-on collision. But will they fake it out and instead of going towards this B, instead go towards A? It does look like they're setting up artillery. So it doesn't look like we're doing any fakes. The yellow turban's getting their heel off. Let's see how this goes. LYNX setting up a lot of time. 5 minutes on the clock, so they have quite a bit of time here. It does look like they are slowly walking forward here. Getting into this engagement range. The shields going to start meeting the shields. Phalanx started poking into these stalwarts as then engagement starts coming in. Claymores going in. Zealots going in. as the mosh pit begins here. It looks like it's going to be a 15 versus 15 head-on collision. We do have a little bit of split push down the stairs there, but the Zealots will go into those towers. It was fine. A little bit of lag as all these animations go in. There's a lot of damage calculations going into this fight here. Spartans doing a wonderful job of going in here. Kind of hard to tell really who's winning it. Both sides holding strong.
Red is so
But it does look like LYNX is slowly pushing through. TL does not have the units to remain as they slowly get walked through the berserkers.
I think they already have the supply as well.
Cleaning up all this point.
If I'm seeing this
unfortunately,
right on the point.
TL placed a lot of premature grape shots, so they were placing the wrong way.
Grape shots, I love it.
And LYNX now pushes down into the supply area, realizing we don't need B, we need this supply. And TL nowhere to be seen, realizing they've lost B, and actually it looks like they're full going back to home.
The short sword there was the real MVP of this fight. I mean, they won the fight, but they couldn't pull new units based on this short sword. They're doing God's work and just surviving for ages. He even captured the point and then just jumped around it. We just saw the end of it, but he basically denied the whole fight to turn sideways, so the defenders couldn't pull twice and therefore couldn't run back to B, which would have cost them the round, I guess, because then they would be stuck with respawning and going for another point, which would end them in like 1 or 2 minutes fighting for a point, which is basically really, really bad for attacker every time.
Now A, B, and C have been captured. Let's see how much time is remaining at the 6 minutes 44 seconds. I mean, not that much. I've definitely seen Reginopolis have more time than this, and this was pretty fast getting to these points. So not too much time for LYNX to do much setup attacks. Does look like TL is going to be giving up the auxiliary point as well. They are slowly rotating. Actually, no, they're rotating to it. Trev comes in, replaced. LYNX retreating back, realizing they can't get it. Trev comes in, does hit some of these Spartans there. Doesn't look like they kill any of the model. No, some very late Trev hits. Only one of them really got in there. Unfortunately, the rest got hit by that scaffolding. Very strong scaffolding by TL. Very good builders. I wonder if I could hire them to build my tower instead of these AZAPs.
Yeah, but you need to get a silencer on them and be like, quiet, B word.
Yeah. Quiet, B word. Yeah. It does look like LYNX is just kind of setting up here. Treb coming in again, a little bit far away. Almost got a lot of those units there. If it was a little bit further righted, that would have been the Treb of the century.
That was the most positive thing you could say over this Treb, being like, they almost hit a lot of units, but they ended up just hitting staircase.
They just had a staircase. Maybe they realized, hey, if we destroy the staircase, be a little bit better. LYNX now moving over this far left area. There isn't really much to fight over here. There is a supply they can go towards. I'm very interested to see where they'll go. It does look like some of the Wuxing pikemen are going up the staircase. Will TL meet them? It does look like TL is walking forward. Spartans are now walking into these white plume guard as the engagement comes in. The Yen Yadao thinking about coming in, but the Modal will brace, stopping those Yens from ever walking in there. Those Yens will unfortunately not be able to come in as LYNX goes into this engagement. It does look like this is very heavily favored towards the TL side. LYNX running out of units too. TL doing great work, but LYNX is capturing the auxiliary point, and they will get that auxiliary point, so this is good for them. Now we're up to 7 minutes on the clock. Actually, instead of going for TL side, it's actually went back towards LYNX in favor of LYNX winning this. Is that Harangue in the bottom left? That is Harangue. LYNX brought Harangue in, and I guess those are doing some damage in there. The infantry walking forward. We're still fighting at this point here. Very slow pushing in. The rats now from LYNX going in will definitely help clean up this push a lot faster. As now LYNX going in there, cap forward there. The breach has been destroyed on the home side. area. LYNX pushing already through to home. TL nowhere to be seen. They have some Yanya Downs kind of running around. They have a Bastard Sword on the point, but you would definitely love to see a little bit more of the unit stalwarts trying to come in. Braced, but the Tiger Leopard Cav is going for the flank. Again, they don't know how to use this Cav, but it's okay as it charges onto the supply point. Hitting great value there. Does look like LYNX is not doing any supply blockers, but they do have units on it. They have the Claymore and the Rattan Pikes. I know they do have a supply blocker as well, as now LYNX pushing forward, completely blocking off TL from ever getting back to this point. The Kuda leaders spawning in and going to go charge straight through the Rattan Pike with the Mental not braced to catch those Kuda leaders. Are great value by TL, but gotta get back onto this point here, and TL needs to get something to this point. Only 4 of TL are alive though, and it's going to look like LYNX will be handily winning this engagement. Yang Yidao trying to clear out the spawn area, get through the Treb a little bit off to the wall wide there, as the Cav is now swarms around, and LYNX will be winning 2-0.
Yeah, you just LYNXed it. Classic.
Yeah.
It's looking
LYNXed
really,
it.
really good.
As
LYNX
we,
oh, sorry.
no, sorry, no, you go ahead. It's your time to speak here.
It's you first. Talk about it.
All right.
Good sir, you're doing so good.
As we go through, let's go over our top 3 on the LYNX sides. We got Kaido Kid, a 2-0, 121 unit kills with 350 hero damage, 2.1 million unit damage. The Natus getting our most support points. Probably brought Shoots and Dingers or those yellow turbids on, along with being the glaive buff. You know, he's helping his team. He might not be killing much, but he's helping his team kill more. And then we have LYNX Sombra as our dual blades, getting a lot of those hero kills, getting 97,000 hero damage to heroes. Great job by him getting those final kills. As we go over to TL Booster, MVP on the TL side. Good old Bastard Sword doing a great job. 550,000 hero damage, making 229. Then we have TL Kern. Didn't get any hero kills. Hate to see it from our dual blades. Did do 32,000. Did do a little bit of friendly fire damage, but I believe TL brought the... No, TL did not bring the Zealots. That was the other team. As we then go into... let's go to Richard Raid as our other S ranking. Our other S ranking from the TL side. Actually did 900,000 to units. So Musket doing Musket things. Great job by TL getting their Musket up there. So we go to our post-battle analysis. Yes. Post-battle analysis. Red is LYNX. As you can see by these charts, I mean, LYNX didn't even get to LYNX didn't even get to half of their charts of TL. Besides at the end there, it got a little bit closer the gap, but this gap it's such a wide gap that unfortunately TL maybe just didn't have the experience to go against the LYNX on this matchup. And then we saw it on that first fight
thing. Like the premature grape shots placed by the...
Yes, the premature grape shots. 3 of those grape shots were placed the wrong way at the B point there. So, really, what can you do? Just a little bit of an experience diff. Comp diff, we saw that first battle where the comp diff made a huge thing. Probably just got outdrafted here on the second battle as well, and experience gained. They put up a good fight. But unfortunately, sorry, go ahead.
No.
Yeah. They put up a good fight.
To make
just
small pauses and then just go for it. Which is really bad for the other to jump in, but we're both doing it, so it's really, really shitty for the other to be like, okay. Now it's my time. Premature communication is like, you don't know. But
yeah, it's okay. We're figuring it out. Yeah, we're getting it. Worked. But good job at TL. They tried their hardest getting in there. Just seemed like a little bit of a draft issue, maybe a little bit more of an experience issue. But they did put up a good enough fight where they maybe could have won. They could have at least won 1-1. But dice wasn't in their favor. LYNX win 2-0. At least there's still, I believe there's still they're not fully out yet. They still have some more matches. So maybe they go against another team and they win there. But good job on LYNX.
You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can. Oh no. Can we pull up the groups by any chance? Wondering? Making a demand on stream and being like, could we see something like, beautiful. So then we can look at it. So it's LYNX versus CL and LS versus LS and LS versus PBS.
I don't know.
Finished. PBS
anyone
is
in Group C.
Strong. LS is basically on the same, or is better than TL, I would judge, but could be struggling against LYNX, but also could be on the same. I think LS on LYNX gonna be really, really even, but I think PBS is gonna have a really easy group stage based on their experience. Right. With the other teams being a little bit newer to the field, at least on their comp, on people playing together. My personal opinion doesn't mean shit.
LYNX did a good showing, so maybe they will be one of our 2 teams that get out of the Group C. I think they could do it. Definitely have a good shot here.
So we're gonna head in a little break again because it's like 17 minutes until the And we back. Looking at us again. For me, it's just getting hotter in here, and now it's getting so hot that maybe my lights are going off and it's becoming darkness. So we're going back to here, but again, Hyperborea. Gonna be a great match right in the end of our match day today here. The last one we're gonna see, it's also going the Heilong Fjord, therefore going a lot of aggressive pushes right from the get-go, and I guess it's gonna be happening a lot at the same time. So let's look at their pick and bans, and then we can make some yapping around what we think is gonna happen.
So for the bans for this matchup, we have the Tiger Leopard Cav ban, the Shenji, the Doppelsteiner, Spartans Chosen, Psychelium Militia, and the Queen's Knights ban. For saves, we have the Schützedinger and the Stalwarts. It's gonna be very interesting. The Plume Guard are available, and with Stalwarts banned, Stalwarts are saved. Well, Stalwarts are saved, Spartans are banned, so we do have one gold tower shield remaining here. But shoots, no, man, I'm getting these mixed up already. I'm seeing double. The shoots are saved, so we don't have to worry about our front line dying too fast because of the shoots healing. The queens are banned there, so they will not be fast fights. They will be a little bit slower, so these fights will be basically the claymores and the berserkers as our damage dealing units. Quite a normal thing. But Iron Roar, for once, not banned. It is Heilong Fjord, so I doubt anyone's going to be bringing Lion Roar, but they are available. Seeing the Tiger Leopard Cav banned again, it's very interesting. I'm wondering, it didn't seem like it was performing too well in our previous matchup of TL versus LYNX, but maybe these teams know something that I just simply do not. Doppelsteiner being banned is also a normal thing to be banned, especially with Stalwarts being saved. If you could Doppelsteiner silence before the Stalwart braces, you can make it so that Stalwart just sits there unbraced and you can very easily get through it. Stalwarts not embraced do very little damage and can't tank nearly as well when they are braced. So having that be banned makes your Stalwarts very happy. Psychelium being banned. I mean, Psychelium was nerfed, so it's a little bit surprised to see it banned. I've not seen too many of those likes be used by any teams when they are brought or when they are available. So let's see exactly how this plays out. I don't know. It is Heilong Fjord, very fast map. Could go really either way. I wonder if we'll be seeing any of those mind games on that A and B side. Maybe we'll see the split push, like what Slap did, Copper Collectors did previously, where we kind of do that like 7 and 8 split, maybe do a 9-6 split. See how that, if any of them do that. Let's go into our matchup here. Hyperborea on the attack first on Heilong Fjord. I'm already seeing nothing crazy standing out for me here. I mean, there's Plume Guard going around.
Yeah, Plume Guard are really good, especially with healing archers, if they're being 3 seconds invulnerable, and then you can just give them the heal on the side of this. So you may be ending up with a lot of... But it doesn't matter if they are... no, let me yep. That was wrong. But still, tanky units with healing archers usually doing really good, so they're replacing basically the Spartans being more situated, more based, than the Spartans who are constantly pushing up, which you need to follow up with your damage dealers. And so we're starting into it, seeing Flames as the special unit on both sides, and Rattan Viper and Healing Archers on the left side. A lot of different units.
I saw a lot more gold units being brought by Yeah Buddy. So they will have the quality advantage, but we do know some of those purple units are very good at punching up when going against certain golds. See exactly if Hyperborea knows how to play their purples well enough to where these golds maybe won't be as strong as they are. It does look like we're doing a standard A rush from Hyperborea. No one at B. So standard stuff here. Unfortunate, no fun things. 7.5 minutes. 7.5 minutes here. We'll see exactly. We have seen this push happen before, and by Slap, and Slap was unable to do it, but maybe Hyperborea knows a little bit more of how to do this A push. They're already immediately going in, not going back onto the wall, instead just running forward. Going straight into this wall. White Plume meeting them there, holding strong from Yeah Buddy as the Plumes try to hold on, but there's really no damage, so these Plumes will probably be going down fast. They're holding as long as they can, making sure that Hyperborea cannot walk forward as Yeah Buddy now gets the Yanya Dows in. The Dows will meet a lot of them, but it looks like those Yans were able to get into the flames of Hyperborea as now Yeah Buddy pushes through Hyperborea, and Hyperborea just does not have anything remaining here to hold strong. There's some Plume Guard that will stop them a little bit at the gate area, but Yeah Buddy is quickly overwhelming them. They're going sallying out. Fully begins to sally out as they stop at the gateway. Those look like they will be retreating back into their fief, maybe play a new unit. As now both teams go reconvene, recollide. DB fighting Ambassador Sword on the wall. Who will win? Will the DB threw their stun at the wall, misses their shurikens? Ambassador Sword will be able to get out of there. No problems. Because now, Yeah Buddy goes back to the supply, pulls different units. Hyperborea regrouping, have to wait for all the heroes to respawn, get new units, regroup. Does look like they are placing some mortars down to get a little bit of scouting power, maybe realizing, hey, we should scout a little bit to figure out where Yeah Buddy is. Maybe we could have set up instead on the inside rather than immediately be aggro into the Yeah Buddy side. Only 5.5 minutes left. They do have to make this artillery phase very fast. I spent too much time here with only 5.5 minutes. So hopefully they do a little bit of their scouting mortars and then we'll quickly go right back into A.
I think maybe it's just Yeah Buddy sitting up there, all the musket players raining down havoc to get Hyperborea to be afraid of pushing at all, and then it's gonna be the good old Hourglass again, winning for one side.
Yeah, the sand is running out for Hyperborea. They do it.
Now I'm gonna be a little bit pushy, but some teams maybe need to put on their big boy pants and start pushing.
Deathmatch happening on the wall here.
That's not really the thing you want to do right now.
I don't know if I would be wanting to deathmatch here. Hyperborea looking like they lost that deathmatch very handily. Yikes, they lost 7 of their heroes there, so now they're going to be having to spend... No, actually, they lost 9 of their heroes. There are only 6 alive left of Hyperborea. Just a really bad misplay coming in here. Now they're going to have to wait even longer, and we might only see this push start happening at 3 minutes. And we only have 3 minutes to do a push. It's just not a lot of time. Does look like Yeah Buddy's going to do a little bit of a sally here with the Reapers going into these stalwarts. Sword Reapers doing funny things into these stalwarts. Looks like the stalwarts are failing to destroy the Sword Reapers, which is crazy. Amiya somehow finding value with Sword Reapers into a stalwart that is fully braced into him. But I guess Amiya's Reapers are just built different.
I think with the Breaker Doctrine, they can do a lot of this.
The Linebreaker does help a lot with Sword Reapers, but it's still quite surprising seeing Sword Reapers go into brace stalwarts and winning that engagement.
I disagree. Happens to me as well. And I'm not that level of playing.
Reaper has a
Icons.
flail, and you know that should be the one beating the shield, not the sword. But
Slapping the shit out of them.
That was a
Short
little
sword
bit out of
jumping to the
position.
bows.
But that was a little bit too far forward. It does look like they will be able to freely get back into a brace as now Hyperborea pushes in here. But yeah, but he's already in the back of Hyperborea, so the Hyperborea's flames will not be able to get the value they would like, already going down as Yeah Buddy has their own flames right, and the Kudalier charge goes straight through Yeah Buddy's line, missing all the anti-cap by Yeah Buddy. It's Kudalier strike coming back, doesn't look like they will full commit, and once again Yeah Buddy quickly cleans out Hyperborea. It doesn't even look like it was close. There's a lot of Yeah Buddies still here. A lot of the units here, only one of them dead. Hyperborea only has 8 people alive. They're just dying very quickly here. Urkus going out. Will we be seeing a full Sally? Mortar does come in here. It does look like this Yorkus player will be going all the way to the supply. Will he be able to make it before any anti-caps play doesn't go onto it? Actually letting them pull units instead. Interesting play. Yan Yadao being pulled immediately do their swing out, but not getting any charge isn't going to have them do that much damage. Yorkus dismount on top of everything there. Another Yan Yadao comes in. Doesn't look like it really needs the mark there as the Cav starts running around. Dagger Axe run into a rock. That was a tasty rock for those Dagger Axe Lancer.
Turn around the walls now. Hyperborea is trying to defend their first attack point. Jesus.
Hyperborea on the defense. They are now the defenders on a map that they were supposed to be attacking. And
jeez, that felt bad to watch, Homer. That's nasty.
It just seems like, Yeah Buddy, very dominant here. Didn't even look like there was even a chance for them to falter.
I think all of them were screaming, lightweight, baby! Going in there. Jesus.
Light work.
Hyperborea is just talking about them to chill. Jesus.
Hyperborea just unfortunately just got ran over here. Once again, it's one of those things where you believe that you're the better team. Going these 15v15s is good, but you know, if you don't think that you can win these 15v15s, you have to be doing these split pushes. You have to be doing flanks. You can't just be freely running into the enemy and thinking you'll win, especially with that experience differential. Yeah Buddy is a very strong team, and they have Anya. So
one of the strongest teams. And then they got Dunkel. That's the biggest buff they can have, in my opinion. Dunkel usually being one of the guys putting the most work into it, and also being a very smart guy, very well known for his wooden spoon of strategic thinking, where he's pointing out his strategies in front of his green screen with his wooden spoon, or even can see him inside of his room. I think it's the best and well-known room inside of CB.
I mean, just looking at these numbers, if you look at the Hyperborea side, there's a lot of them with just single-digit unit kills.
What?
Yeah, there's also one with just 1, and they only killed 3 people on the side of Yeah Buddy. So, I mean, that's just a clean run over. But the MVP is Mosby, so good on him for getting MVP. He did get that A+ ranking. The rest of his team are at B's or lower. We do have Otiak, Musket, B+. I mean, they're trying to hold the team together, but just wasn't enough. As we go to the Yeah Buddy side, MVP Anya, you did see their sword Reapers go through those stalwarts earlier on. Good damage there. And we go to the other ones of, let's go down to Barracuda and Punk at the bottom, as they have also the triple-digit unit kills. So doing a great job.
It sounds like they're blinging out and being like having like a gold chain where they go like triple-digit unit kills.
Triple-digit unit kills. As we go to our post-battle analysis, I think we all know what this chart is going to look like. Yeah.
Huge mountains.
Huge. Like,
huge.
Look at that. Look at that first engagement. That Yeah, but he barely lost, maybe even 50 units to Hyperborea losing. Looks like somewhere near 400. That is not the ratio you want to see unless you were trading greens and grays for golds. And even then, I don't think I would be wanting to see these kinds of charts ever. This is just Hyperborea just did not have it, just didn't have it in them to beat the strength of yeah, buddy.
Seems to be like this. So, back to us again. Talking about what we just witnessed. I don't know if I want to talk about it, but it was pretty strange.
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't something to show your kids and be like, now go to sleep. It's be like, nah, that was crazy, Dad. I don't want to see it again. That was so brutal. And we're like, chill, kids. It's not that bad.
It was, yeah, buddy just went for like a gentle stroll through Halong Fjord. They didn't even think twice about what was happening. Hyperborea was fighting for their lives, trying to do anything against Yeah Buddy, but Yeah Buddy was just free. They're just so free. They weren't stressed about anything. They just have a gentle stream, like, oh, there's a river out here. Let's go. Let's go to the river and start fishing. Like, that's how much they were worried about this matchup. So now,
I don't know if they were. I think they were still. I think they're respectful about their enemies and be like, don't underestimate anybody. But still, from a viewer point of perspective, still. Yikes!
Yikes, indeed. But we will be now getting into a swap where Yeah Buddy will be attacking Hyperborea on Halong Fjord. Judging by how that last matchup went, let's hope for not a steamroll. I don't want to see this match. Let's hope this match doesn't last less than 4 minutes. You know? Oh, I've lost Bruder. He's gone. Oh, he's back. Welcome back.
I'm back. It's just your camera going and mine not. That's
okay. Well,
my camera just went out.
Well, with that, guys, I think it is time to go into our break because I have lost my Brooder and the Azaps are constructing my siege tower. So, we are right back with the next game.
There we are back. My camera was working again. Just cut down on me. I think it was catching the heat and was like, bye, I'm out. So, going in the next round here already. I think we already started into it, so we can already take a look and you can talk a little bit about the unit we can see now.
Yeah, it does look like these are fairly normal comps, fairly similar to what we saw before. I do see Hawachas be brought by Yeah Buddy. That's funny. I hope one of them gets placed. We all know Hawacha, especially the blue Hawacha, is the best artillery piece in the game. No cap. For sure, on God, that is the best artillery piece in the game, and I'm really hoping that Amiya places a blue Hawacha. Going through the rest of this, I mean, yeah, these are looking fairly normal comps. There's something that's striking me as like a unit that nobody brings or that I knew. I mean, I do see Zweihanders being brought by Amiya, and I think that's Cataphracts as well. So maybe, okay, maybe Amiya is having a little bit of fun. I do see they swapped to a Ballista, so I'm kind of disappointed that there's no longer going to be a blue Hawacha.
Ballista can be really good, even on blue. You have some maps where you play blue ballistas.
Yeah, but it's not a blue Hawacha, which is just objectively like the best blue artillery piece in the game. Like we should have seen that blue Hawacha. They might lose now without that blue Hawacha.
I think you need to change your accent as soon as you go on the Hawacha and go like, "Here to the chopper," grrr, and then you shoot.
Especially the blue one. It is very fast firing. Shoots a lot of flaming arrows that don't actually light the person on fire. And, you know, it is the highest damaging artillery. You should especially use it to shoot siege towers. As we go back into this, it does look like a standard A push. I do think I see 2 people at the B side area. So. Oh, it's Amiya with his Y-handers. Well, Amiya is going to go do great things with Zweihanders at the B side area. I believe in him to go do wonders. Going back over here, as those look like a standard A push. Got a horse that's jumping around. With a musket jumping around up there. Yeah. Standard A push shenanigans here. Breach does go down. Gates looking like it will be going down soon as well, if not down already.
Yeah, but he's looking way faster on the trigger. They're faking a little bit of breach there now, going in for right side. Already jumping for the one guy sleeping on his shields. They're just investing one unit. I don't think there's any payoff out of it. Then we have a lot of units there putting into the main push. The trap is going down already. Modao standing a little bit too far behind to deal any damage there. Flames doing a lot of damage, out-rotated like couple of units facing the full block of enemies. Huff is going straight through, wiping the floor there. Jesus, it's not looking good for HP here again. But in the back, the push back from the back is really looking okay, but it's just giving them a couple of seconds because it's going to be them trying to jump on the flames, but the flames are still unfazed, doing all kinds of war crimes to the enemy team and just opening up the barbecue like it's summer season.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but his flames living through this entire engagement is just so detrimental for Hyperborea. Usually these flames last for like one burst of fire and they're gone, but this time they've lasted the entire engagement and have quickly cleaned out the entire point. Hyperborea did get a good flank in there, but yeah, but he already cleared the front side, so they were able to turn around and deal with those flanking stalwarts very quickly. So now it looks like Amiya still up there with his Zweihanders. Oh, the Zweihanders are unfortunately down. Amiya goes down. Does look like he did trade into those Yorkus very evenly. So as we know, Zweihanders also a very good unit. Glad that unit's being brought. It was recently buffed, so it's a little bit better than it was before, but you know, not the strongest of units, but still did great things. Got traded into Yorkus and probably did some other wonderful things. Really wish I would have seen what it did, but you know, what can you do? It looks like Hyperborea is immediately falling back to the seaside supply. not defending C. A short sword from Hyperborea just really far forward here. Kind of confused as to what he's doing. Horse goes down, but he will just run away. And yeah, but he will not chase him down. As they swap all their units, their infantry, getting that C point. Hyperborea is setting up on the hillside. Those look like they're pretty far back. I wonder if they are going to actually...
Where people defend behind the longhouse there, where you try to go with the supply and then try to get them in there because the trap is not hitting there. You can even see it on some higher ranked lobbies where people drop on C so you don't get fought there and then you retreat to this point. But I think,
yeah, pretty far back.
Yeah, you usually
it's pretty far back of the bungalow. They're giving Yebudi a lot of space here to just take and like surround them. Yeah, you want to defend behind, but
yeah, they're gonna see it in a second. There's already the spy going in, being like, "Yay, guys, free room, free real estate."
Yeah, so there's just a lot. Hyperborea is giving a lot of space for Yebudi to take there. And yeah, you want to defend back there, but if you give them this much space, that just gives Yebudi a lot of space to just rotate around or take way too much.
Slowly
too much
pushing
space
up there.
Or it does look like we're going to be seeing a split push here from Yebudi, or just a
it's normally the
up
case
the ramp.
that they're not pushing only one direction, but going for different angles because they can coordinate where.
Bloomguard holding strong. Flames from Hyperborea get trebbed. Amazing treb by Yebudi end there as this engagement now comes out. The shoots Dinger from Hyperborea going on as well. It looks like those shoots are healing the entire map there as this engagement rages on. The Cav comes in. The Cataphract the Lancers. They go straight through. They clean up everything. We love this Cav. As now Hyperborea runs out of units, going to be very hard for them to do quite literally anything. It doesn't look like they really killed much of Yebudi getting this supply. Hyperborea has a few things they're trying to hold on for dear life here. When you got when you have half the units of the enemy side, it's going to be very hard to hold on as now Yebudi rolls to the home point. There's only 2 people of Hyperborea alive, and I think this is going to be a GG here. And unfortunately, Hyperborea, they're going to try to get back on this. The Yanyi Dao are coming down. They have started their charge, but the Yorkist Cavalry Knights, Yorkist Household Knights, are already there, charging through. They will not let any Yanyi Dao get in to this home point. That will be Yebudi 2-0ing Hyperborea. As we go into our MVPs, King Jade SR on side of Yebudi. Good job, our Glaive player did wonderful work there. I would like to point out that Anya, who brought Zweihanders and Cataphracts, went 8-1 with 110 unit kills. Somebody have this man give everybody the sauce with Cataphracts and Zweihanders, I guess, because like holy
I think
smokes.
He should be even MVP. Based on the points, maybe? No, I don't know.
Just judging by this, like holy smokes.
I know.
I guess we gotta start we gotta bring in some time to start bringing Cataphracts to my lobbies. Surely I can do what Anya just did. As we go to our MVPs on the Hyperborea side, we have Ivan Konev 0-2 with the 41 unit kills. And once again, Hyperborea has quite a few people with single-digit unit kills, even a person with 0 unit kills. I believe this was just a massive skill differential here. Yebudi being just so much tremendously better than Hyperborea. I guess Berserk mode got the 30. Let's go to our post-battle analysis screen and let's look at this. Yup. I mean, what can really be said? This chart says it all.
2 huge mounts again.
That gap is... It's just too big of a gap. You can't get through it.
But it's funny though. It's basically the same pattern. 2 big pushes. Somebody needs to lay them with 50% transparency above each other and then be like,
yeah, it was just such a, yeah, but he had such a dominating factor in these games that this graph speaks a million words. There's really nothing more I could say besides look at this graph and tell me Hyperborea stood a chance. Oh. But yeah, that will be 2-0, and I believe that will be all of our games today for the EU side of CBL.
that's true. So for us, my camera's out again, but we just gonna rock with it for now because my internet seems to be afraid of me tonight. So that's it for our EU side, but in the evening, see, magician.
Oh.
Then we're gonna go back to it still in the evening. So in like 2.5 hours, we're gonna see RMS starting basically, and we're gonna have CBL RMS. The good old wrong direction Furious is gonna play there and be there again for you and cast you through the whole evening. You don't need to look at me, and you don't need to hear my yapping, which I was pretty amazed by how Furious covered this one up for us, even with the ASAPs in the background building his tower. And I really enjoyed to see the evening playing out. And you're gonna be joined by who?
I'm going to be joined by Create, or more commonly known in this community as Stars FPS. This is going to be my buddy here. He has casted several tournaments before for Conqueror's Blade, and he will be joining me here for the Americas in our evening time.
And I'm stoked to see it. So that's it from our side. We see us next week, basically, same time again, and then it's gonna be another group stage fights. So see you guys until next week. Bye bye.
Bye everybody.
Just salute.
Realistic Three Kingdoms world with over 60 cities alongside a massive visual overhaul. But it's not just about the visuals. The Three Kingdoms era was all about warlords colliding in one massive, chaotic war. Our old multi-channel system split players up. It just didn't fit that vision. So we removed it. Now, every single player shares one unified map. You're stepping into a living world where you'll face rival factions, shifting borders, and real strategic choices. Terrain is no longer just for show. We've completely rebuilt the road system. If your army takes the main roads, you move faster and save food, but you're out in the open. Taking the rough terrain is slow and costly, but it keeps you hidden. We're also introducing a morale system. Combats aren't just about stats and skill anymore. If your army's morale breaks, you may lose the battle. Now, let's talk about heroes and units. The changes here are massive. We've redesigned weapons with new models, combat feedback, and skill sets. We're also bringing in the one-handed sword, twin sword, halberd, and the crossbow to give you a unique combat experience tailored to this world. For your armies, dozens of legendary units are joining the roster, like the Tiger and Leopard cavalry. We've scaled up unit sizes to make fights feel more intimidating. Recruitment is now tied to geography. You have to go to the Northwest region to recruit the Northwest Heavy Cavalry. Combined with authentic voice lines, your units feel like living armies. Next up is Faction War. The real charm of the Three Kingdoms is the politics, the dynamic shifts between allies and enemies. To capture that, we completely overhauled how factions work. NPC faction relationships are no longer static. They evolve based on the state of the war. Every alliance you make or city you attack can shift the balance of power on the server. Resources and the economy are now the backbone of the game. Every war you wage, unit you recruit, or siege engine you build relies on resources flowing across the world. This means players who prefer logistics and crafting are now absolutely essential to winning a war. We've added a stronghold construction system. Every city on the map can be upgraded and fortified by players. Cities won't just easily reset back to level 1. They are long-term strongholds that your faction needs to manage and defend. You'll also see a complete Han Dynasty military rank and official title system. From basic ranks to high officials, every battle you fight and contribution you make translates into real status and identity. Another huge addition to the world is the massive war zone, offering maps larger than 8 square kilometers. With expanded borders and complex routes, tactics completely change. There is a lot more room for frontline combat, backline support, and troop deployment. Terrain, logistics, morale, and tactics will decide the battle. By the time we built everything, this world had the sheer volume of a brand new game. And that is why it requires a standalone client to run properly. This DLC marks a massive new chapter for Conqueror's Blade's 7th anniversary. Alongside our upcoming anniversary events, we're also upgrading the CBL to match the feel of Three Kingdoms. One last thing, we've hidden a lot of Three Kingdoms Easter eggs out there in the world, crafted with a lot of love for the history. You'll find plenty to explore. Thanks for watching, I'm Miles. Let's look forward to the next 7 years of Conqueror's Blade.